It's time for the type of energy only Darren McCarty and Neil Rule can give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy.
Big D Hump Day.
Right
Let's
here.
go.
Right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule, that guy, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, won Stanley Cups and stuff. Perhaps you're familiar with his work. We got a bit of a shift in the squad today. Let's go around the infield third to first. Playing third base today in the sound booth in his 93.1 DRQ Detroit jacket is Stick.
Yes, sir.
Fix your camera, Stick.
Oh, why? What's wrong with it?
There you go.
Like,
Show him the 93.1
like
DRQ.
the dude on the morning show this morning.
Right, yeah. You got to forgive Willie, man. Willie different.
Yeah, the old 93.1 DRQ classic joint.
That's old.
For those that don't know, Stick is a legend in the radio industry in Detroit.
Big facts.
That's factual.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. Usually, people accuse me of being like hyperbolic, and I'm not. Like he's a legend.
It's where he
in
made
the
his
business.
money.
I listen to this man when he talks about stuff. I listen.
Yeah, it's
because
where
he's
he cut
been
his
through
teeth.
the
How
battles.
old's that jacket? 30 years old?
24 years old.
24 years old.
Yeah.
So
2001. 93.1 DRQ.
Detroit.
Beaming the boom from
What was your
high
favorite-
atop the Fisher Building.
What was your favorite station you worked at?
Oh, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. They all have. It's like kids, you know. Like you love them all just differently.
like cops.
I had a
No,
lot.
I love mine more than others, depending on the day.
My
Neil will
biggest,
let you know.
My biggest radio flex is I programmed WJLB for about 9 months and took them to number 1, 1834.
Strong song.
Behind the scenes, nobody knew that they were between program directors, and I was the guy calling all the shots from Grand Rapids for a while. So that's a small mild flex of mine. But no, DRQ was amazing. Like, we used to have Automotion up in the overnights after Piston games and come down from the Palace because we were actually mixing live in the studio, doing overnight things in a radio studio, having fun. So, like, I cut my teeth there, and then 955 did that forever, having your own night show there. That was amazing. Ran a station in Grand Rapids, was on in Toledo,
Legendary.
San Antonio, St. Louis, Chicago,
Mr. Worldwide.
New York. Yeah, me and Pitbull everywhere.
305.
More ludicrous than Pitbull. I just got hoes in different area codes.
Okay.
Adiz 411. WDRQ was good too. No,
Yeah.
they absolutely were.
I
D-Mac,
said
you were locked
that.
in.
I was locked in. I used to lock
Well,
in.
this was Red Wings prime,
Hey.
man. Honestly, when the Red Wings were great back in the late 90s and early 2000s and the Pistons in 04, like, DRQ was owned by ABC Disney, which owned ESPN, and then ABC also carried the broadcast for the Pistons and a lot of the Red Wings games, so we had access to everything. Just flex your ABC business card.
Stick. Lunchbox says Stick is at one of the X jackets they gave back. No, Stick only
are hoodies.
loses sweatshirts. He does not lose jackets. He learned from his mistake, correct?
Rest in peace, hoodies. Yeah, I'd never leave this over at a
No,
groupie's house.
hell no.
No, this is the one you drive back to go get.
Woodward Sports chat thread. Jump into there. Get your thoughts out there. Soccer night in Detroit. Happy U.S. Open Cup third round Wednesday. Let's go Detroit City. Yes, squaring off against Westchester tonight in their opening round
Shout
of
out.
play. Shout out to DCFC. People are talking about it, too, in the chat. Steve-O, baby, Neil, you smell that? Pistons playoff basketball is back, baby. Let's go. We're going to discuss that.
You damn right we are.
We're going to get into the Tigers. Now, playing second, as always, is Chase in the Chase Lounge. You know, reliable. He's here. But over in the TD booth, Spencer is not here.
He's not.
KG in the TD booth.
What's
KG,
good, man? Come on, y'all love this blackface. You do.
100% I do.
But when I do it, I get kicked out of Walmart.
Yeah.
Look at your versatility.
It's a little different, Stick. A little
Third
different.
to first, KG.
Oh, you know, I'm the most versatile player, or one of the most versatile players at the network. So, but shout out Spinny getting called up to the big time.
He will be on E&E today
He will.
and tomorrow
And the next day.
and Friday.
Yes.
So there's that. Interesting.
Don't care. Still don't care.
I'm happy for him, man. He getting his opportunity, bro.
How do you think Spenmo will mix in with the E&E scene.
He can survive anywhere.
He can. He's done it before.
Survive anywhere.
He's been good on E&E. I've seen him do it before, so confident.
Well, it's perfect. It's actually perfect. I might have to tune in if there's draft talk, because Spenny, like I always say, breaks down. He knows the names that might be under the radar and stuff like that. So if you
he
want
can
some
educate
football
them.
talk, yeah, hopefully he can educate Maz a little.
No doubt. Lorena Rios, KG is the Javi of BDE.
A little bit better. I like to think I'm a little better, but
Got
you
them
know,
hands.
I'm well above league average, so I know that for a fact. So
Okay.
yeah.
Sawston, E&E viewership skyrocket incoming. Spenny's going to bring that. He'll bring the heat to him, no doubt about it.
Absolutely. He gonna hold him accountable.
Is Spenny a traitor?
No.
Are we sure?
We had to do this out of necessity. We really don't have too many other options, as Stick knows all too well. So we had to do.
Can we put on the chat poll?
Sure.
Is Spencer a traitor?
Oh yeah, we definitely
Should we welcome Spencer back?
Or is he the ultimate team player because he's picking up some slack? You know,
We'll just leave it at that. Is Spencer a traitor?
Yeah, I
The
got you.
conversation about this when I approached him in the hall of like, hey, you know, Pete's taking some time off. Can I slide you down? And he didn't hear the Pete's taking time off. He just thought I was making the official switch. Like, hey, you need to do Ermanni and Edwards now. And he was like, no. I was like, it's for a couple days. He's like,
Yeah, dog.
Okay. So he was adamant if this was going to be a full-time switch, he was not having it.
Any thought of changing the name of the show, Stick, for that? As Hurricane says, E&E and Emo Spenny.
be tough to lose two people at the same time on the same show.
Yes, it would.
That's all
be.
I'm saying.
Yes, it,
It would be
E&E
great if
and
he
E.
came in as Emo Spenny today as the TD. Just out of nowhere.
Bro, Ryan would lose his shit.
That would be electric.
It would.
Spenny, if you're watching.
Ryan and Maz would lose it, bro.
We need Maz. We need emo Maz because Maz is already emo. He just needs the dark eyeliner.
Right.
Like, that's it.
No, absolutely.
Pull out that Just For Man kit, put it on his
Just
face.
for Maz.
You're right, the Just For Maz kit.
Spenmo speaks, as a matter of fact. I'm going to need you guys to make sure that studio is clean for the real stars once you wrap up your cute little podcast.
Shout out Spitty, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, that is how we're viewed, right, D-Mac? We're just a cute little
It's a
show.
cute little show.
Yep. As Sean would say, he's
Absolutely.
going to
That's
pinch
it.
her cheeks, man.
Absolutely. Nobody can take, we talk serious 11 to 1.
Right. We're going to get into the NFL draft stuff, too, for sure. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to get to, and we're definitely gonna do it. Tigers fall last night. They get cooked, and look, that's going to happen. It's going to happen 10 times a year, man. Like, that's just the way that it goes. The morning show, I was listening to the morning show. What?
The tone. The tone.
Gosh darn it! Like Flannel's like, how many games into the season? We're
10% of the way through.
We're 10% of the way through, and he's already offering appendages.
Right?
Right? Like slicing off without. Like,
I'm like, it's April, bro.
What did he say? What did
give his
Flannel
arm
say?
for Riley Green, and
Maybe in June you'll offer up a hand or something, but
that'll be that's just my question, because as behind the scenes, like we have a group chat thread. And I wasn't watching the game, but oh my God, it sounded like we were talking like Wings end of the world, or like they got behind or they got down, and now we're hating everybody, and Sam's got to defend Riley Green or whatever. Riley Green's going through his torque moment, right? But I think he'll figure it out. Don't you?
No, yeah. Well, the dude was an all-star last year.
He's a pro, dude.
He's like one of the least of the ones that I'm concerned about.
Is it fair to say?
yeah.
Is it fair to say that over the next, 30 games or whatever, the Javi Riley Greens will find their water and switch?
Of course. Hopefully
Right?
Javi stays where he at.
So at the end of the day, and I know yesterday's an anomaly, right? You're going to have, 5 of those games a year?
Hopefully.
Right? That's really the
5 to
first
10.
first game of the season that they really haven't been in, would you say?
Yeah, been not non-competitive, yes.
Non-competitive, right? and how many games into the season are we?
What?
16.
So if they
right?
do that once every 10%, so that makes it 10 games a year.
And
I
I keep bringing up the fact that we saw Riley Green perform throughout the first 6 to 8 games. This slump is more recent, so I don't think fans should, freak out about it. It's not like we haven't seen anything from this guy at all this year. He's going through the motions right now. He has to make some adjustments, but he's an all-star center fielder. You're not sending him down to AAA for all those fans saying that bullshit. He's going to be fine. You got to let him work through it.
So when you saw the morning show, sorry to interrupt. You were going to say I just thought it was like, what are we doing?
What did he say?
He said that he's to the point where he would give a limb for Riley Green to get a hit.
Cut off his arm.
He would cut off his arm. And I was like, dude. And he brings it up. What is he, 1 for 27?
Yeah,
that's
something
the
like
number,
that.
something
Yeah.
like that. Like, guys, this is the way this works. And on the flip side of the coin, all right, Spencer Torkelson's 3 for his last 17. Javi Baez is 3 for his last 17, despite the fact that he's back.
He is back.
And he's a great player.
And his approach is great at the plate.
No, 100% it is. You know what the deal is, though, D-Mac? I think this comes back to this. And I become a disciple of Sean in this respect. The Riley Green thing, I think that the Tigers fans, the All-Star, the All-Star appearance and stuff like that is great. And he's a good player. I wanted to lock him up for the last year and a half, 2 years. I wanted to give him the Ronald Acuna thing, where you lock him up long-term, and by the end, he's probably a value. But with that being said, I think that people put him on this place, and Gleyber Torres, and I've heard nobody talk about this.
No, I've been talking about
Gleyber Torres shows you what this lineup really is. Him being here, who is where was he in the Yankees pecking order? 4th, 5th, as a hitter.
Yeah,
something like that, right? You see Gleyber Torres come in here, and I was excited to see him, sign here because I knew what he was going to be. He was going to be one of the best hitters in this lineup because he's a pro.
He's a pro,
and you
hitter.
see the difference.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you too, like what the Tigers did last year, what A.J. Hinch has done with this lineup and with this roster is incredible. And what this pitching staff is, it shows you. Because Gleyber Torres, you see it when he's up there. And they got 1 hit last night. Gleyber Torres, in his at-bats, looked different than everybody else. Did he not?
Yeah. No, I mean, I saw one of his at-bats, but just the consistency. You know what you're going to get. And hopefully that's what rubs off. I think the focus on not even just around the league, but everybody's always on the pitching. And, it's who we're getting out there and getting off to a good start. But the fact is, this team has to play well, and it seems like if they don't get off to the early start or get the early lead, you love the aggressiveness on the base pass and all this stuff. But when you look down, you got guys that are learning how to be professional hitters, right? Throughout the lineup. So really, this. I mean, if this happens to everybody. This happens to the Dodgers, who have the biggest payroll. This is going to happen to them. Aren't they going through a slump and stuff like this of losing games or what? Like, this is part of baseball. Isn't this part of the 162?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
now, when do you get concerned, right?
If this goes into June, that's when I'm concerned as a fan.
Here's and this has nothing to do with the Tigers. When you say, when do you get concerned? Here's something, too, that they didn't talk about in the morning show at all. The old Guardians have won 6 of 7. And for as good as the Tigers have been, the lead's down to a half a game. The Guardians have won 6 of 7. They've recovered from a slow start. And look, they're not a threat to win the World Series. The Guardians are not. They are not. But they are a good regular season team. They're built for the regular season. And however they do it, they win all the time. No matter who they lose, no matter what you think when it starts, they're always there at the end. And like you asked a question, you say, when do you get concerned about it? I get concerned about it if the Guardians get 4 games up, 5 games up, and this is still playing out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of weird, I guess, to hear somebody say, I'm not worried about them here as they're constructed. What Cleveland does concerns me, but it does, man. Because the Tigers now are like the Lions. Only the playoffs are going to matter, right? Like the expectations to be there, the expectations to win the division, right? That's what you guys all told me.
There's still an element that they need to make the playoffs because I would say to your point that most of the season is going to be like this. Like, we're going to be competing with Cleveland and maybe even Kansas City for that top spot. And it's going to alternate, from week to week, month to month. I feel like there's going to be an alteration there. But overall, you feel like the Tigers have enough pitching in the department to overshadow everyone else. But I would contend that we're going to deal with this all season. So they just need to be well equipped, for the times that it does switch hands.
And D-Mac, what did I say the other day? I can't remember if I was with you or Sean. When the Tigers lose, this is what it's going to look like. Right. And it's going to be ugly like this. Like, that's just the way that it's going to end up, man, because of the challenges in the lineup. And in the meantime, and you know what I'm tired of hearing? I'll wait till we come back. I was going to do something else next.
I got you.
I'm tired
he fed
of hearing
up.
something. Yeah. So we'll get to it next. What I'm not tired of hearing about is Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. I bought a car from there, so I know. They're the number one dealer for Chevrolets in all of the state of Michigan. They're the nation's number one EV dealer. They have tremendous lease deals going on, as you see on your screen right now. The Silverado Crew Cab, the Equinox front-wheel drive. You can get those lease deals. Scan the QR code right above my head right there. You can shop the real-time inventory. You can start the leasing or buying process right there from your phone. It's all pretty simple. And you show up and you'll get your keys. I got my car deal done in 90 minutes. You can't even buy a refrigerator in 90 minutes these days, but you can get a car as long as you go to Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's number one Chevrolet dealer. Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Neil Rule here for Woodward Merch. That's right, Pistons in the playoffs. Draft coming up. There's a Woodward Sports golf line as well. You can shop it all at shop.woodwardsports.com. You want to boo the kids? We still sell those shirts with regularity for some reason. We still sell them, right, Stick?
Yeah, a couple a week, honestly. People hate them kids.
Hey, show your passion. Yeah, show your passion. Well, that's what Lions fans do. I was told that. Shop.woodwardsports.com. All right, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, Stick in the sound booth. We got Chase in the Chase Lounge, KG stepping in for Spenny. Spenny will be on E&E, so tap into that.
But Spenny is awesome.
Why you laugh?
Spenny's more of a menace now that he's not on the show. Keep it going. He's just waxing people from the ether and everything.
Right.
What's he
He's a
saying?
menace. I love it.
I love how Neil chuckles whenever he says
I
Spenny's
feel like
on
he's
E&E.
still here. Yeah.
You just chuckle like it's
I
funny.
feel like
it's
he's
cute.
still here.
No, it
This
is.
is
He
even
is still
better.
here. He's lurking.
Yeah,
He's
he left
lurking.
his wax pen here, so he's definitely here in spirit.
Just turn it on real quick. Just get a cloud of smoke.
Right, I got
Just
you.
let him know that he's still here. Woodward Sports chat thread. Burn in the super chat. If you want to skip the line, do like Burn did. We can't play 9 of our first 16 games against the AL Central like Cleveland. Some of us had to play the Dodgers and the Yankees. No, I get it, but Burn, you and I both know. In the end, the Guardians are there.
Yeah.
Because with their bullpen, they only play 7-inning games.
Yep.
Like, that's just the way that it is.
They'll be there.
Woodward Sports chat thread. Gromit, and D-Mac, you know this. The chat does the work for me. They do the transitions for me. Gromit0237. Bregman is on fire. For those that don't know, Bregman last night, 5 for 5.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Which, if you were playing for the Tigers would have ended up with 6 hits last night instead of 1.
Right.
If Bregman was there.
Probably would have won.
Here's the deal. what I'm tired of hearing about are the people, because look it, people went mad, right? Like, people are mad about last night. People are mad about the fact that
shouldn't be,
the
but
Tigers
yeah.
had, as I said, when you lose, this is the way it's going to look.
Yeah.
Because those are the deficiencies. Fair
Absolutely.
or foul?
Fair.
100% true,
But
right?
what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
What do you mean?
This is baseball. There's 162 games. To react this way to one game.
Well, because it's a prevailing weakness, Stick. Like, we knew it. We knew it going in. We
Right.
saw it last year. They didn't change it with the exception of Torres. Like, that's the problem. And what my issue is the people that want to cut a pass to the Tigers and say, well, they tried to get Bregman. They didn't try enough. They didn't try hard enough.
I mean, when you were the highest offer reported, most money, most years,
Right.
and you don't get them,
And
what else could they have? What could they have done?
He waited until the last possible second, the last possible day, and then Boston swoops in and he signs with them. So
I don't know, but this overreaction today about a Tigers game last night, let's see tonight. Because you know what they say in baseball, momentum's only as good as your next starting pitcher.
Correct.
So, what are we doing?
The deal for
Calm
me.
down!
No, but the deal for me is that is what I will not take, because I saw this all over social media. DMAC was, well, the Tigers tried to get him. I have friends that texted me that as well. And right before Bregman signed, Ari Alexander tweeted, each of Bregman's offers had something wrong with them, I was told, whether the AAV wasn't there, not enough years, or deferrals he didn't like, or something. He said, I was told to take more than $35 million AAV to get him to accept a short-term deal. Bregman went to the Tigers and said, here's what it is. If you put this out there, I'll sign it and we'll go. So you can't.
I don't think it's that simple.
These people sound like somebody who's never been rejected by a girl.
I think it is as simple as that. Like, we're talking over, like, even at the little bit of money or whatever it
Right.
was, is that it, like, to me, it sounds like it's the old, okay, but here, and then they give it back, and there'd be like something.
Some
so they
differences.
weren't all in. How do we know, Neil? It goes back to what you said yesterday. What is the consistency about the Tigers organization, where now it's almost like the sky is falling Chicken Little when they come out and go, but we did offer them this. We did try our best. But no, if you wanted them and that was the difference, at the end of the day, it wasn't. Because the little money we're talking about signing Scooble for friggin' $50 million a year,
Is
or whatever.
it a
Like
two-way
that.
street, though,
You're
D-Mac?
talking this little bit of money if this guy was going to be the difference. At
Right.
the end of the day, when push came to shove, you did not do everything that you could do. And
But it's a two-way
Boston
street.
did.
I would
he's
argue
got to
the
want to
opposite.
be here, though, too.
Right.
Like,
and that
that's
doesn't
part of it, right?
So
Like,
he's
you
like,
can
if
do
you
what-
give me this, I'll come. And it's more of his, like, Boston said that, and he went, well, I'd rather go there.
Right, it's I equate it to
wasn't
you're,
top of
you're
his
courting
list.
a girl. She says, "This is what I'm looking for in a guy." You're like, "I'm everything you need, baby," and she's like, "Yeah, but across the street, that
Right.
guy, I
And
like his jewelry."
I get it that the Tigers' history is working against them in that regard, just the way it appears, but they offered him everything that he was looking for in terms of the deal he
no,
wanted.
but they did not.
What-
The Bregman,
he said the whole time he thought he was
wanted
going
one
to the
more year on the
Tigers.
deal. He wanted one more year on the deal.
But
he
we
said, if
gave
you
him
give me
six.
the year on the deal, I'll sign it now.
He gave
and they
him
didn't want to do
six.
it.
Where are you
If
hearing
I
I'm just
offer
telling you,
6 years, seven is irrelevant. Like, there's got to be a line for the Tigers too.
I'm just telling you what it would have taken for him to sign the deal.
And that's
But
fine.
But the narrative isn't, to me, like, because when he goes 5 for 5, that's what you're going to hear, right?
Yeah,
They're going to hear,
I
well,
could
he
care
tried.
less,
Well, you
yeah.
didn't try hard enough, man.
And
Like,
that's fine. We've been okay as is. We have. It's not perfect, no, but we've been able to get by with what we have.
would it be better with him?
Absolutely. We all know that, Neil. That's
Between Bregman and nothing.
we spent our whole
I'll take
offseason
Bregman.
talking about how better it would be.
Yeah. But I'm not letting him off the hook for that. I'm not. You can if you want.
I
I'm
hear
not.
you. I hear you. I just think it's bigger fish to fry, but I do get that their history
And
is
it
working
wasn't.
against them.
And I see it in the chat right here. Glitch player said Bregman was never going to Detroit, guys. Jesus, it's obvious Boris used the Tigers. They offered 6 at 75 after being told he wouldn't sign a shorter years, higher AAV.
Exactly.
They wanted one more year on it, and he would have signed it.
But
That was
why
the line.
offer-
That was the line. So, but
you always lying?
what I'm saying though is, don't say, well, they tried. It
Well,
was there.
technically
They gave him the
did.
parameters.
Technically, they did.
He said no.
That's
if
fine.
if I give you an offer and say, hey, I want to sign Neil, we love you. We want to sign you for 6 years. Stick, I'll sign right now for 7. I don't want to go 7. Okay, well, if you give me 7, I'll sign it now. We'll get back to you.
But
okay,
7
like
is
I don't just stop talking to other people then.
That's a
you know
long,
what I'm saying?
But 7 years is a long time, man. 6 is fair. They offered him a fair deal. That's the only reason I'm kind of defending him in this regard. And the whole time he said he thought he was going to the Tigers.
Yeah.
That was the whole message the whole time. So what changes on the last day for
Boston
a shorter
coming
deal
in
with
and
more money?
Boston coming in and swooping with
But that means your
the
heart
better
wasn't
offer.
there. That means your heart wasn't there the whole time. You were waiting for the better offer, which was shorter term with more money, and that's fine. But
He never when you make deals or whatever, if you're trying to work with somebody because you want to work with it, there's an easy way to do it. If you are just there because it's more of a hindrance because you got to come and play in this ballpark and probably hit lower than it is, go to Detroit, this, that, or whatever, then you know what? The money goes up. I'm charging you. And I need this to whatever.
It's a ballpark.
Not the same thing when you're going to Boston because Boris is telling them you're going to go 5 for 5, rake at the monster.
Right.
You're going to re-sign to whatever like that. It was never but what Neil's saying is that they didn't offer the extra juice and the extra that you needed to bring somebody here being the Tigers.
But at the same time,
as opposed there. And Boston saw that, came in, and swooped in because they knew. I think you're 100 million% right. And that leads back, right? The name that you said, Scott Boras.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So don't tell me that he represents everybody and this doesn't, I can't see how it doesn't play with everything else. And that's why it worries me about Skubal.
But at the same time, we did the same thing with Miguel Cabrera. The guy gave us the world, Triple Crown winner, took us to multiple World Series, and everybody at the end of his contract, because it was that long-ass deal, he kind of wore out his welcome here, and now you even ship him out. If you give Bregman a 7, 8, 9-year deal,
he's not living up to that.
3-4 year deal. Yeah, he's not. And then we're just sitting here.
But
in
if
4
you're
years
expecting
bitching.
that at the end, that's on you. That's not the way this works.
I don't think anybody's
do you think
expecting
Do you think Juan Soto, who what he signed a 15-year, $750 million contract or whatever it was?
Right.
You think when he's 41, you think he's going to be useful at all?
True, but that's Juan fucking Soto. We're talking about Alex Bregman, who is good. He's not Juan Soto.
But he was doing it at a Bregman scale.
True,
not
but
a Juan
for
Soto
Juan
scale.
Soto,
That's the
I'll
way
give
this
him
works.
that extra
It
year.
worked this
For
way
Alex
with
Bregman,
Pujols.
no.
It worked this way with Cabrera. That's the way it works.
But look at the players you're talking about. Pujols, Cabrera, Soto.
Yeah.
I'll do that for them. I'm not doing that for
But
Alex
look at
Bregman.
the money we're talking
Right,
about.
and then you don't get them.
And that's fine.
And then you don't get him.
And that's
so that's
fine.
cool. So
Yeah.
so then be cool with it and don't worry when he goes 5 for 5 for Boston.
So
I'm not, but other fans are. But like you said, that's going to be the narrative, unfortunately.
I'll end it with this. If Mike Ilitch were still the owner, would Bregman be a Tiger?
Of course.
You know what?
all right, let's go to
be
break.
gone and all this other stuff
But can we
because you're not worried about the back end of the contract because it's not about money. And you think winning teams worry about the 6th or 7th year?
And
No,
can
no,
we
they're
talk
worried
about
about
how
the
we went
first
0
three.
for 4 the game before?
You're right.
Like,
And they've been burned by the Javi contract and the Miguel contract, so I can understand. I'm not saying it's right. I can understand it though.
Bro,
Spencer.
His last 7 games: 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 0 for 3. Or wait, 1 for 4, 1 for 3, 0 for 3, 2 for 4, 0 for 4, and then 5 for 5. Like, that's an anomaly. That's not what he's doing every game. So let's not act like we passed on a guy or didn't get a guy that's batting 1,000 every game.
Well, we had 1 hit last night.
Okay, that's going to happen in baseball. There's 162 games. We're going to have games where we have 14 hits.
As Spenmo says here in the chat, Stick, you excited for the Tigers to offer Skubal a, quote, fair deal?
Well, here's the difference. What has Bregman ever done for the Detroit franchise?
What do you mean?
Right.
What has Bregman ever done for the Detroit franchise?
Well, nothing. He's never
Okay,
played
what
for
has
them.
Skubal done for the Detroit franchise?
Right, but hey, as long as they give.
Okay, what did Miguel do for the Detroit franchise?
What did Max?
Those
all
are
right,
the guys
well,
I
Stick,
have no problem paying a little
Stick,
more.
what did
'cause you've
Max
already
Scherzer
given
do?
Me something.
Stick, what did Max Scherzer do for the Tigers
did
franchise?
great things for us.
Yeah, and he got a fair offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, until someone offered him $70 million more.
Well, you knew you weren't going to be able to keep all 5 of those guys.
No, you
on
could
that
if you
payroll.
want to.
Well, yeah, you could if you want to, but they didn't want
We
to.
got to work with what we got, man.
Yeah, I mean there is a budget, Neil.
Spencer, that's a lot better than Riley Green's last 7 games.
No, that's
Man, Spenny's out on Riley Green.
yeah, man.
He is out.
He just trolling, man. He not.
Steve O'Baby, Neil, there's an old saying, money talks and BS walks. If a player doesn't come here, I don't think it's a problem. Again, I go to the philosophy, guys.
And I get it. Their history is working against them. I do acknowledge that.
Randall Smalls, Bregman wouldn't have had to sign if Mike Ilitch was here because he would have gotten Soto.
There you go.
He would have had them both.
He would have had them both.
Right, also a fact.
Roasted.
When we come back, I gotta talk about something that the NBA did that I think is a travesty. Absolute travesty.
Why are all these beds so low?
I don't know.
I think they're pretty.
You were the one that was at 93.1
Right.
DRQ.
I know, I want some upbeat
You tell me.
shit, and all of it's like ambient.
Not really. You just got to search in there. You don't be in there all the time.
Neil Rule for Planet Fitness.
Yeah, talk to them about Planet Fitness, man.
You know, it's a zen place. I like to go there, you know. And no, for real though, Planet Fitness, it's the gym. I was just there a couple hours ago, putting in work. I was talking about this with the guys in here. Yeah, there we go. It's Planet Fitness, and I was in there getting my run in, and we were doing it, and I was suffering. I was going through the suck. That's what I was at Planet Fitness. No, but for real though, it's the best gym in the gym game, guys. I'll never be a member at another gym. I just won't be, because Planet Fitness gives me everything I need. It's $24.99 a month for a black card option. If you're going to another gym, you're making a mistake.
Fucking Jersey Shore.
That's it. That's all I can say. If you're going to another gym, you're making a mistake, guys. $24.99 a month. Go to Planet Fitness. Over 50 of them in the Metro Detroit area. Go to planetfitness.com or just pull in the parking lot. Don't pay more money to lift the same weights at Planet Fitness.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. You got Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce here every Tuesday on Big D Energy and Thursdays tomorrow during Ermanni and Edwards with Spenny, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy, trusted for 4 Stanley Cups. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. Secret sauce, anybody? For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com. Call 248-426-9944.
All right, we're off and running here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network on a Wednesday. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, Stick, Chase, KG in the building. Spenny will be on E&E today from 2 to 4. All right, the schedule's out for the NBA playoffs. And the Pistons, as we know, they play Saturday night in New York in Game 1. Game 2 will be what? Monday, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we will be at Buddy's, most likely.
Shout out Buddy's.
On Monday for a watch party.
Oh, for real, for real?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that one.
Roll out to Buddy's, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Then the scene shifts back to Detroit Thursday night. Ooh. And Stick shaking his head. And everybody that I talked to in the media universally told me we would be, quote, stunned if the NBA puts Pistons-Knicks on Thursday up against the NFL draft. But here we are. And look, you guys know my stance on the NBA. I'm a truth teller about the NBA. You guys are liars. Some of you are liars when you say, no one cares about the NBA. I can't watch the NBA. Yet they get a $77 billion TV rights deal, so obviously somebody cares. But I digress. Their ratings, ratings were off the chart Christmas Day. They're down 2% for the year, kind of like another league that we know, the National Football League. Their ratings were also down 2% for the year. You see what I'm driving at here? Somebody likes the NBA because tons of people watch it on TV, but I digress. D-Mac, the NBA's making a huge mistake doing this to Detroit, where there were 750,000 people at the NFL draft here last year. New York, obviously, huge market, big into football. It's just, I don't understand, D-Mac, why. Look, you want to do something like that, take one of your other playoff matchups and do it Thursday night. Don't do Pistons-Knicks, man.
No, I agreed. And I thought, I didn't think, the lack of respect for Detroit, Detroit versus everybody, that it wouldn't be on us, but I didn't think they'd do it to the Knicks.
Yeah.
Or the New York fans.
Thought they'd save us, right?
Right? Yeah, I thought that we'd get through with whatever like that, but, what are you going to do? Just makes for, eventful night, once that comes around.
Stick in there, stress the hell out.
Sticks on OT right now trying to put this thing together, but we'll figure it out.
The logistics of this night.
Who's not going to be dialed into both? So
insane.
wherever we will, we'll be watching both of it at the same time.
Yeah.
So I mean, doesn't it seem just so 2025, right?
Yeah.
First playoff game in forever. Down at LCA.
More on that in a minute, by the way, because I'm gonna follow up with some of the people.
No,
that are right here.
it is. You said self-awareness. I think it's more of just don't care. Didn't even think about it. Like I don't think.
And I think
I
you're
don't
right.
think the conversation even crossed paths.
And you're probably right. You know
Which
what I'm
is
saying?
sad. Which is sad.
And that I feel bad for the Pistons organization that they're put in that spot. 100% I do, because look, a lot of people are going to watch the draft. They just are, and I'll talk about that in the next segment. By the way,
Yeah.
So we'll get into it.
Definitely will, but I don't think it's going to take away from the Pistons just because of where we're at and where the Lions are at. Now, we know the Lions are drafting late, but with Brad Holmes probably move up. But people will pay attention. We still don't know what time the game's going off. Draft starts at 8.
8, yep.
So hopefully it's before that or whatever. But I just see.
Give us a matinee Thursday game.
That would be epic.
Good luck with that shit.
Right?
But yeah, it just screams lack of self-awareness.
It's just, I mean, it's cool in a way that it's forcing Woodward Sports to get creative
Up
with
the
how we're
game.
going to approach
Yeah.
that night. And because, draft night for us traditionally has been all in. That was our first major appearance at the Del Mar for our first
Great time.
year during COVID, when we could only let enough people in because there were enough chairs for them to sit down. And if anybody got up, we had to make sure they were sitting down because he couldn't be walking around. So the draft has been massive for us. Last year we got 8 million impressions.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was all over the place. So we need everybody all hands on deck for draft. But now we still have to do a Pistons pregame show, Pistons watch party, Pistons postgame show, plus have the social team cover it. So Thursday night next week is going to be an absolute clown show, and it's going to be amazing because it's pushing us to do things we've never done. We're going to have multiple streams going at the same time. You're going to be able to pick and choose.
At the same damn time.
At the same damn time.
2
days.
So here's the deal, and I was just kind of looking at it. Oklahoma City, the schedule for Thursday, Oklahoma City, I believe, they play the winner of the Dallas-Sacramento.
Yeah.
So they'll be at home. The Clippers are at home, right, against Denver. I believe they are. I thought Denver got the 4 seed.
I thought they did too.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, Denver Clippers. So you wonder where they're going to put Pistons-Knicks. And I think what they're going to do is Pistons-Knicks will be the first game, because the Oklahoma City game will be the second game as part of the TNT doubleheader. And I see why they did it now, as I'm getting the TV networks and stuff like that. They're dropping New York on the TNT because that's the A game for Thursday night. And that's always been their money rating. So, it's one of those things where they're going to do that. They're going to make New York the prime focus of the Thursday night TNT coverage. So hopefully they do that at 7:30 at the latest.
Yeah.
But that's just what I hope. I feel bad for the Pistons organization because it is a headwind. Let's be real. There were 750,000 people here for the draft last year.
It ain't going to be like that in Green Bay either. You're maybe going to get 100,000 people in Green Bay.
I think it'll be more than
200?
that. But yeah. But the moral of the story is it'll be down massively.
Right.
30%, 40%.
And there's 500,000 more people to watch it
Yeah.
that aren't there.
With a third of the hotels.
Right.
Dude, Green Bay is going to be a disaster.
people will be staying in Milwaukee and Chicago.
You got to drive 3 hours
Yeah.
to get in a one-bridge town. It's like if they did this in Grand Haven.
Right.
It's impossible.
Steve Wiles, it's really dumb to compare. What, dumb to compare the NFL being down 2% and the NBA being down 2%? How is that dumb to compare? Seems to be kind of a... I would think that that's probably a streaming issue.
Yeah.
Right, D-Mac? Like, you put games on Netflix or Peacock, which the NFL does, you're good. That comes at a cost.
Yeah.
So, that's where it is. Burn in the super chat.
Shout out.
Burn, how do other cities put up with having good sports teams throughout the year? What the heck? When do you get a break? The baseball all-star break. That's it. Are
We
people,
learning.
D-Mac, are people getting winded now?
We learning.
Yeah,
Are we getting tired?
Gotta get so tired of winning.
Your conditioning is important. Planet Fitness, folks. This is for your sports conditioning. This is where we're in it. We're getting there. So that's what it is. Just make sure you breathe through it. Make sure you breathe through it. We'll be okay. But this is the way it's supposed to be.
Get used to it, hopefully.
I laugh like Danny G. It's a dying sport in the U.S.
Shit.
Apparently you missed the part where I just talked about a $77 billion TV rights deal where their ratings were on the level with the NFL this year.
Right.
Both 2%. Does this make sense to everyone?
No. And is it a perfect game, the product right now? No, but people still care about it.
The Pistons will make it better. The way the Pistons are playing basketball, it will make the entire NBA
And that's
better.
what I laugh, too.
Especially if the Pistons can be successful and win a playoff round. People will start getting back to, oh my God, we got to play defense. Oh my God, we need to be tough. Like that's what's missing for me from the NBA. There's a shot chart out there if you Google it of what the NBA looked like in 2000.
That's an old ass shot chart. Might not even be real or accurate, but I
it's
get
very
you.
real and accurate because I've watched the game evolve from dudes hardly ever taking 3-point shots to Isaiah Stewart becoming a 3-point shooter because that's part of the new way of the NBA. Like, it's changed. The physicality's out of the game. There's no more downhill driving like there used to be. So I understand why the NBA peeled back a bit, but if the Pistons can be successful the way they're playing right now, it's a copycat league, and they can bring back real basketball to the NBA.
They could shift the pendulum to the NBA.
Isn't that crazy
no doubt.
to think about, like how Steph did it with the Warriors? Okay, now everybody's just going to launch 3-pointers from the arc. Now it can go back to, oh my God, the Pistons are back at it. We need to be tougher.
Gromit 0237. Sometimes TV shoves a product down your throat, but the more they do that, the more you watch.
Exactly.
It's proven.
I don't know. Look at the WNBA.
Second most watched WNBA draft in history.
Here you go.
Yeah. How about the tournament? How about the tournament this year, Neil?
Well, I'm just telling you what it was. WNBA draft, second most watched ever.
Less than 50% of the people who watched the tournament last year watched it this year.
Get your Caitlin Clark plugs out of here, man. We get it.
Well, it was down about 50% from last year.
More than 50. It was
no, the draft I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. So, come on.
We get it, man. Caitlin Clark is the white savior. We get it.
No, she's the WNBA savior.
Who is
it has
also
nothing
white.
to do with her color.
Okay, that's enough. Let's go to the break. We're losing control.
No DEI with Caitlin Clark. It's all about what she can do on the court.
Please tell us about where you can find Woodward on socials, KG. Please,
Right,
hurry.
I got you, man. Woodward Sports is over all social media, as you know by now, man. We are dominating the digital scene, and you can follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, along with YouTube, of course, Twitch and TikTok for the latest sports updates, live updates, and behind the scenes action. Don't miss out. Hit that follow button and be a part of Detroit's #1 digital sports network. Fact, not opinion. That is Woodward Sports. Come on now.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Tigers of summer are ready to get back to the playoffs, and there's no better place to get your Tigers coverage than Woodward Sports. Join us all season long as we follow as our hometown Tigers claw and fight. This ball is gone! Boys are back in town. Feel the roar with Woodward Sports. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Neil Rule here for Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. And as we've been talking about, scan the QR code on the screen above my head. Download the Caesar Sportsbook app. Make your first deposit using the promo code Woodward1000. When you do that, you'll make your first bet all the way up to $1,000. If your first bet loses, you'll get it back as a free bonus bet. Hey, you want to take a free spin at the Pistons? Load it all the way up to $1,000. They're, 3.5 to 1. You see what I'm saying here? If something happens and the Pistons don't win, then you'll get it back in your account as a free bonus bet. Seems pretty easy, right? Again, scan the QR code on the screen. It's Caesars, guys. One of the OGs of the sports betting game. The app is clean, easy to navigate, doesn't glitch out. They're one of the GOATs, man. Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. All right, keeping it pushing. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, KG, and Spencer Raxter out. We have Stick in the building, Chase in the Chase Lounge as well. And some of your reactions. DNC ENT, I don't get the travesty and outrage. This is supposed to be the least competitive series of the 3-6, 4-5 matchups. So, yeah, you go head-to-head with Night 1 of WrestleMania and the NFL Draft. Yeah, the WrestleMania thing, not quite as much to me. Going up against the NFL Draft, man.
Yeah,
but D-Mac, I'll say this. You know what? I'll say it. If you're not going to watch the Pistons in the playoffs, given the state of where this town has been in terms of its sports teams, if you're going to watch the NBA or the NFL Draft instead of the Pistons in the playoffs, then you're not a Detroit sports fan. You're a football fan. Period. End of story. And that's fine. Do what you want. I'm not here to tell you what to do.
You're a casual.
But don't deny what you are. If you say, I'm going to watch the draft over the Pistons, then you're not a Detroit sports fan.
The type of people that tune into the flagship.
You're a football fan. That period, end of story, D-Mac. I'm curious to get your take on it.
Fan of sports or whatever. It's not, you're not being critical, but it's, because, and I'll double down because this is the fabric of what Detroit sports and how they're played. As we watch with the Lions, it's the effort they give. It's this team, from whistle to whistle, that they don't quit, and it's the type that they play, and they represent the city. That's why you have where they've come from, what they've done, but it's the way they play, how they play together, and they're the epitome of what this city is, right? And sort of the comeback of this city, and through hard work and togetherness and direction, and they're the most exciting. It was like watching the Lions, but it's different. Because, this is like something that came out of nowhere, right? 14 wins last year. You tripled it. Like, you put yourself, you not only elevated 2 levels, we always talk about where on 75 are you. Well, dude, they put it in supercharge, and they're down over the bridge in Mackinac. So it's like the way that they are. So when you said that, Neil, like, let's be realistic. I see it in the chat. You do it all the time. You watch 2 things at once. You figure it out.
Yeah, I don't
we got phones. We got tablets. We got watch parties. You're going to go to a bar or whatever. The draft's going to be on. The game's going to be on, right? I'm going to be going to watch WrestleMania, watching the Pistons on my phone, right? Watching the party. But, let's not act like the accessibility, if you want it, it is there. We just got done talking about how, we were laughing at Stick because he's got to figure out how to be creative to have 2 watch parties, hopefully in the same spot to be an epic night. But really your priority should be seeing what the Pistons done as a sports fan if you're ranking things.
See, I don't want to be judged by my decision on that night. This just got sprung on me yesterday. Actually this morning. Before this morning, I didn't even have to make a decision. It wasn't even something I was weighing back and forth. So I don't know. I'm gonna watch both.
Like, I mean,
you
what's
gotta
the first-
watch both, but you prefer one.
No, I know you.
I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it. Well, I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do Thursday night. Like, I love the Pistons. Gonna be watching the Pistons, but I'm also.
Well, then you just answered it.
But I'm also gonna be locked into the draft because I love the Lions and I love the NFL. Like, I love how I've always broke down my fandom is how much of a sport I'll watch. Football, I'll watch any teams, anywhere, anytime. Basketball, I'll watch any Piston game, anywhere, anytime. And that's how I know I love football more than I love basketball a little bit, because I'm not interested in what the Miami
So you
Heat.
watch the Jaguars over the Pistons.
I don't care what the Miami Heat are doing, but I'll watch the Dolphins play. Let's put it that
Will
way.
you watch the Jaguars over the Pistons?
You better
Over
not.
the Pistons? No.
Okay.
No, not
then
over
you're
the
then you're not
Pistons.
who I'm talking to.
Can we be realistic though?
Because that's who's picking in the draft: the Jaguars and the Giants
But
and
it's
the
all- but
Browns.
that's
If
all-
you're
the
if you're
draft
more
is
into that
different.
than
The
you are
draft
into
is
the
different.
Pistons in the playoffs after a 14-win season where the owner did everything right, the coach did everything right, Cade Cunningham's become a superstar. If you're going to watch the Browns pick Travis Hunter over watching the Pistons in the playoffs, then you're not a Detroit sports
See, that's
fan.
bullshit,
You're a
though.
football
That's
fan.
bullshit, though,
No, it's
because-
not.
Because if I'm watching a 15-2 team that dropped the ball in the playoffs last year, that are looking to potentially move up in the draft and improve their position and do something to shock the world, I'm invested in that too. That doesn't make me a shitty Detroit sports fan. It makes
If
me
you're
invested in
watching
both things.
the Browns pick Travis Hunter over the Pistons in the playoffs after a 14-win season, then you're not a Detroit sports fan. You're a football fan.
But if you're watching Brad Holmes trade up to the top 5 now, are you a Detroit sports fan? See, it's all
No,
conditional with that logic.
Here's the thing: isn't it how it's going to break down? You're going to focus on the Pistons game till the Lions make a move, either with a trade or whatever. You're not gonna listen to the garbage that, like, the in between. You're gonna watch the ticker and stuff like this as you're watching the game until the Lions are on the board or trade up or do something exciting. There's 48 minutes in this basketball game. You're gonna keep to it, but your attention's gonna focus. So to say is, are you more of a? It's more of a don't miss out on something that this team has done, right? That they sort of deserve some sort of your attention. And you're trying to categorize what more of a sports fan. Either are you a fan of sports or football is more important? You just don't want to say that you're a Detroit sports fan if your priority is the football on this night.
My point is the Pistons did everything you say you want.
Yep.
They did everything you say you want.
Tripled their win total in the
Tripled
first
their
year.
win total.
In the first
Owner
year of
made
the
a
new regime.
huge financial commitment. Big, bold move. New GM came in. Got you vets that are in the 90th percentile of what they do in the NBA. Did it all. Made it to the playoffs. Right? All the vitriol against the Red Wings. The Pistons are what you say you want.
I got a great caveat. Is it series dependent?
That's the other thing. Are they down
Right?
0-2?
If
Is
they're
it
up
1-1?
2-0,
Are they up 2-0?
if it's 1-1, if they're down 0-2, does that change?
They're playing
people's-
at home in the playoffs.
I get it, Neil, but I'm just saying.
You've seen this once since LCA's been built.
Yeah, facts.
You see what I'm driving at here? This
Yeah.
is what you say you want. So, again, Ryan's Lions. Not true, Neil. I'm a fan of all Detroit sports, but I just literally can't watch basketball. Well, then you're not
Then
a
all
fan
sports.
of all Detroit sports because Detroit sports has a basketball team in it, Ryan.
A damn good one.
Sorry, I know people get upset when I'm critical of their comments. So, respectfully. That's all I have to do, right? Just
Yep,
put a
that's
respectful
all
So
you
you
on
don't
gotta
care
do.
about the draft at all, Neil? Is that what you're
I
saying?
don't care when the Giants pick, no. I don't care when
Could
the
the
Jaguars
basketball
pick,
game
no.
be over before the Lions pick?
No.
If it
But
goes
for
on
the Lions
schedule.
pick, maybe.
Yeah, if it goes on schedule, yes. So, Mike O, draft beer greater than the NFL draft. Don't get me wrong, I like the NFL draft.
See?
You guys know I like the NFL draft, but the Pistons did everything you said you wanted.
Yeah.
Everything. Literally everything.
It's arguably the greatest Detroit sports turnaround ever.
Ever.
So isn't this more of an argument of if you're planning on going to the Pistons game, but now it interrupts with the draft and you're not going now? Isn't that more of what it is? Because you're always like it's not like you have to make a choice on what you watch. You don't. You can watch all of it. I mean, we do it all the time with Pistons and Red Wings play at the same time. Like stuff like that. So it's just the adjustment. I think to your point, Neil, what you're saying is expand on it. If you have tickets to the game and you decide not to go because you got to watch the draft, then you're not a
So
Detroit
here's a question just for this room.
basketball fan.
We're going to do a watch party for the draft. We're going to do a watch party for the Pistons. Which one do you think will have more viewers?
We will have more people probably watching the draft show
Yeah, of course.
because of the national audience that we command.
Yeah, that's just common sense. Like, the NFL is going to dominate.
Oh, but I thought if the NFL dominates, that means you hate Detroit.
Yeah.
I said because of the national and those people who aren't Detroit sports fans but have it in their Twitter bio.
Okay.
Detroit sports
yeah.
fans.
The
Lions always
you
gonna
know the
dominate.
numbers are going to tell. So we'll see.
Oh, yeah, the NFL draft's
You're
going to
gonna
pull more
get
numbers.
that- yeah.
Come
You're
on
gonna
now.
get world view.
This is a
You've
football
seen it.
town.
Everybody's
It just
waiting.
is,
Like,
but-
dude, there's probably 50, probably more than 50% of the people that will watch that draft party that don't even know the Pistons are playing.
I would agree with that. And Stick, like, you know this because you see the analytics and the numbers. When we do Lions stuff, when we do draft stuff, it's a worldwide audience. Like, worldwide. You know, the Germany, the England, the Australia,
NFL is king.
it's a worldwide audience.
But all you're doing is showing me that the Lions are worldwide, even though you're telling me the Pistons and basketball is more of a global
But he's
game.
speaking to the people
I'm
here.
speaking to the people here in Detroit.
He's
That's
not
what I'm
speaking to
speaking to.
nationally, speaking to
But you
Detroit
just said it was
sports
global. We're getting views from all over the place.
fans. No,
Yes,
that's
for
in
the football we
Right,
are.
Exactly.
For the football we are.
And we're not for the Pistons.
And
like
you've
we
done
do.
it for 5 years, so people know that.
And-
it's tuned in.
It's going to be fascinating to see the numbers
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Yeah, and
And
the Lions
Stick.
have been good for longer than the Pistons
Well,
have.
and also there's so many, like, to quote D-Mac, there's so many caveats to this, right? Is it going to go down to a buzzer beater where Cade hits a three-pointer across, half court?
Are they up 2-0? Are the Pistons up 2-0 in the series?
I'm fascinated. This is the stuff I love, so, like, I'm fascinated to see the
Well,
end
you know how
result
we
of
work,
this.
right, in this town?
Yeah.
Like, if the Pistons are up 2-0 coming into that game,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
That's going to shift a little bit.
everybody in here will be
yeah.
like, I'm on board. I
Yeah,
can't
right,
wait, you know?
right.
So
I am
that's
worried,
all relative.
I am
We
worried
fickle.
people are too cocky for this first-round matchup against the Knicks. I am worried about that. People are taking the Knicks lightly. Like, oh, we match up well. We beat them 3-1 in the regular season. You know what regular season basketball means come playoff time?
Nothing.
Absolutely.
Just a fan. Neil is a stock ticker Tiger fan. He checks in to find out when he should check out. Every day, just a fan.
Yeah.
I guarantee you I watch it more than you do.
You
I
are the
guarantee
Ryan
you that.
Ermanni of Tigers.
100%.
This is why
When
we have
you
to
ain't
talk.
watching.
This is
Yep.
why we got to talk this man out of the hobby hate every single fucking day. It's because he's so invested.
Yeah. Although 3 for his last 17.
Listen, man.
Average is down in the
The
260s.
plate approach.
Here we go.
The plate approach is different.
Javi is the NASDAQ right now.
Yeah. No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He is not.
Yes, he is. Short it. All right, Top 5 Wednesday when we
Top
come
five,
back.
Top five.
Top 5 classes that you had in school. I can't wait for this one. I like my list a lot. I
Okay.
can't wait to see Chase's.
We
Also.
always that's always a
Yeah.
caveat.
He's become quite a character in the top 5.
Well, it's, I think it might be the chase line.
Tell him about Jars.
Absolutely. All right, Woodward sports fans, whether you're hitting a game or simply just chilling, Jars Cannabis, they have you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest lineup of rec cannabis products. They've got over 30 locations across the state, repping Michigan in a big way. 9 locations are right in Metro Detroit, so there's always one nearby. If you're in Grand Rapids, Madison Heights, or Milan, get ready. New stores are coming your way soon. This Saturday, 4/19, Jars, Utica, 11 to 3. Darren McCarty and the Darren McCarty brand will be present.
Nice.
Pictures and sign-in autographs. Go to jarscannabis.com to see where you can get your favorite products today.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The bats are hot, and the weather's getting hotter. Summertime in the D with Detroit's big hitters, Woodward Sports. Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network. No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz next 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network.
At Lady Jane's, we take the chore to getting a haircut. Talent stylists will deliver an industry-leading haircut, relaxing scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
All right, back at it. Hour number 2
over there, KG.
Hey, man. They were already set up like this.
It's the same live reads by the same people in the same camera shot.
Listen, dude, what Spinny do behind here is what Spinny do, okay? So I just...
Ooh, I like this.
Yeah,
Behind the scenes stuff on air.
Put D-Mac on camera, though.
Yeah, well, I tried, but for that amount of time, it wasn't even worth it. So
There's
I'll
do
just
and
lip
do
sync.
not. There is
I'll
no
lip
try.
sync D-Mac if I got to.
D-Mac will tell you, there is no try. Right,
Okay.
D-Mac? What does Yoda say? There's do or do not.
There's no
All
try,
right,
just
you try and find these cameras in
do it
7
right,
seconds.
or
Go
you
ahead.
do it wrong.
do it.
Do it wrong, you learn, don't do the same
I know how to
mistake.
do it. It's just a lot of bullshit in here. That's all.
Keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
no,
a
you
lot
guys
of
are
bullshit
good.
in there right now.
Oh! We got
You
some
come do it.
Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, KG.
I'll show you bullshit.
Stick in the Stick sound booth, Chasing the Chase Lounge. We have some breaking Michigan basketball news. Danny Wolf has declared for the NBA draft after his breakout junior season with the
Damn,
Wolverines.
was hoping he was going to stay, but he's a second rounder. I don't think he's a first.
They got Trey McKinney. They'll be
He'll
fine.
make a lot of money in the second round,
No,
too,
absolutely.
you know?
I'm not down that at all. But if he had a stayed a year, it probably could have helped his draft stock. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Top 5 Wednesday. Why is it a top 5 list, KG?
Because it's half as boring as a top 10 list.
Absolutely.
And give me 1 second. Pull
Top
this stuff up.
5 classes. High school, college, any of the classes that you've been in, your top 5 school classes. Who's hitting lead off?
That will probably be Chase. Did you do one? I didn't see one for Chase in here.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, I do see Chase in here. We'll start with Chase.
Chase, your top 5 classes.
All right. Top 5 classes for me, starting out with number 5.
Yep, just going this low. No, there you
All
go.
right.
Yeah, looking scholarly right there, Chase.
You look like Weird Al.
Yeah,
That's
you
like
do.
Weird
A
Al.
little bit curlier hair, but yeah, top 5. Number 5, the only class I have from high school, computer graphics. I went to the Career Center, which took up my mornings, and then computer graphics was the only class I had for a semester to come back to in the afternoons. So I had like a 3-hour chunk in high school where I just didn't have to be anywhere, and I would just go home and fill my time however I pleased. It was a blast. I really enjoyed it. Gave me a taste of college early. Number 4, history of cinema. This is my freshman year, or my first year at Central Michigan. We watched 10 movies across the semester. We had a minimum 250 words, maximum 500 word essay that we'd have to write about the movie, just whether we liked it or not, and just kind of like the themes and stuff. Very easy. And like I said, we just would go to class and watch a movie every day. So it was pretty fun.
I'm noticing a theme here.
Yeah, I mean, this is all like to do with like
Pretty
my degree.
easy. Well, and it sounds easy. All right, going on.
It
Moving on.
sounds easy.
I have 2 art degrees, so very easy to get. Inter and intrapersonal communications. This was like actually staggered at Jackson College and Central Michigan. I just learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about just communication in general. I think it kind of blends a lot of psychology in there too. So feel like it helped really mold me into who I am and who I want to be. So that's kind of like where I found my roots, I guess, in those classes. So number 2, advanced filmography. We actually it was like as part of my end of my CMU tenure. We made a short film. So if you go on YouTube, you can find Memory Lines. It's like a 25-minute short film. I was a sound guy, so holding the big boom mic, just walking around the set.
The boom mic.
Yeah. And we just helped set up, do whatever. It was a short film, just part of the class. We had fun with it, student script and everything. And then my last class was one of my last classes at CMU was script writing. I actually had to write our own television series and pitch it for our like final exam, see if we could like sell it or not.
Was it a show about nothing?
No, actually, we had to write a show as a group and then an individual project. And the group
was it entitled Ermanni and Edwards?
No.
Oh, all right.
No, they're actually really good. I actually got some really nice feedback.
No, they're actually good.
Thank you, Chase, for giving me exactly what I wanted.
Chase said it, not us.
Thank you, Chase.
Chase said it.
Yeah, no, actually, I found out like in the next semester that the teacher was using our project as like the new example for future classes, just because of how well we did. So I just kind of thought that was pretty cool, and I learned a lot from there. I enjoyed it a lot, and hopefully one day you'll see instead of executive producer Dick Wolf, at the end of Law and Order SVU, it'll be like my show will have my name popping up there.
Okay, the chat is exactly what you think the chat would be. Jack Stark, history of cinema at CMU was great, and then it's a bunch of Weird Al Yankovic stuff. So, that's what it is. Jacaro, Chase is an effing legend. So there you go. JB Smooth, Chase with the diss. Damn! Who's next, KG?
We're going to go to Stick next.
Stick, batting second.
Yes.
Stick, your top 5 classes.
My top 5, first of all.
Look at Stick out there.
That jacket. Look at that, right in the pumpkin patch.
I know what you'll be watching next Thursday.
Tell me I'm not a Piston fan, people. Tell me I'm not a Piston fan. Those jackets were fire back then. But let's do it. Let's get into it. Creative writing, number 5. I got kicked out of my sophomore English class because me and the teacher did not get along.
Yeah,
so
makes sense.
Mr. Karshnia brought me into his creative writing class to get me the English credit I needed to move on to be a junior. So my creative writing class. Number 4, Jim. I think all of us in this room, we love Jim.
Yeah, Jim is going to be on pretty much everyone's
It better
list,
be, and if it's not, you can just get the hell out of here.
Yeah, that's right.
Jim was the best, the absolute best. Number 3.
Unless you're unathletic.
Whatever. Number 3, debate. I loved my debate classes. I actually competed for the state of Michigan in Chicago.
Makes so much sense.
Yep, debate and short story and poetry. I also competed in those in high school as well. So it's called forensics in high school, not like police forensics, but like short storytelling. The nude art class when you got to show up and draw
what
the
school
naked
you
lady.
go to?
Danny G in the chat. Nude art class is so on brand for you. Oh my God.
What school you go to where they do that?
Much like Chase, I was an artsy kid growing up as well, and I went to a lot of art camps up in Interlochen and Notre Dame for architecture camp and all over the place. I did a lot.
They have art camps.
Yeah. What'd you do during your summers?
I played sports and stuff.
I played baseball and went to art camps. That's why I was going to be an architect. And then number 1, the middle class. Listen, I've grown up with all types of people from all walks of life. You don't want to be uber rich. Those people are fucked up. You don't want to be uber poor. Those people are fucked up. Like right in the middle class, even maybe skewing towards lower middle class is probably my favorite class. Those are the people I like to hang out with. Those are the people I like to interact with.
There you go. There is Stick. Top 5 classes. Who we got next, KG?
We'll go with me, your boy.
Okay. KG, your top 5 classes.
All right, top 5 classes. Here we go. And at number 5 comes in home economics. And honestly, this could have been a little bit higher because home economics for me, we got to cook in that class. Like they taught us how to sew and stuff like that. And these are life skills. These are skills that kids need. I'm mad that they don't really teach this kind of stuff anymore, but home economics always goated. Always got a chance to skip and go get lunch as well. So that was always a plus. Love home economics. At number 4, psychology. Now, I technically didn't have a psychology class in high school. I hated my geometry teacher so much that I would sneak into this class. And luckily the teacher was cool as hell. He would always let me come in. And he taught me a lot, bro. You just learn about, the human experience. I believe he told me at one point, death is only a state of mind. And when you actually think and break shit down like that, it's like, oh, he's kind of right. But learned a lot from psychology class, just about humans in general. So always got to give it up for that. At number 3, art class, because everybody fucking skipped out of a class to go to art class. It's a rite of passage in fucking high school. Like nobody's sitting through, a fucking algebra class if I had the option to skip out and go to art. So it is what it is.
More on that methodology later in my list.
Big facts. Shout out to Mr. Bishop, our art teacher over at RU High. At number 2, gym. And it's just, come on, it's gym class, bro. It's self-explanatory. And at number 1, my favorite subject, history class, because history does indeed always seem to repeat itself in one shape or another. And just Digging in American history is a very interesting thing. And I know they trying to take a lot of the shit out in modern day times, but we know the truth. And if you
America's the greatest country to ever exist. That's the truth.
yeah, arguable. But,
Undeniable.
no, but the
Depends
fact,
on your perspective.
Everything before
Yeah, it-
1776 was a mistake.
what Neil said, but history class is it's interesting just learning about the history of this country, what they want to tell you, and then some of the things that you can research outside of that and find out about as well. So history has always been my favorite numero uno subject.
Woodward Sports chat thread, lunchbox. Neil, is this how Calvin Shepard got the DC position? I don't know. You have to ask KG. I don't know how that works. Also in the Woodward Sports chat, Boog, the NBA needs more local TV broadcasts rather than cable. Well, next year, NBC's coming on. It'll be a second over-the-air broadcast partner.
Can't wait to hear that NBA on NBC jingle come back.
Oh, yeah,
it is.
Great.
It's going to be
I cannot
electric,
wait for
no
that.
doubt. Darren McCarty next? Or
Yes,
what?
sir.
Yeah.
You know
D-Mac,
it.
your top 5 school classes.
All right, top 5. Kenny, you and I might
Hey.
have gone to the same class. So
Hey.
number 5, home ec. Dude, fridge was always full.
Yes.
You could always eat.
I
in
loved
there.
home ec, man.
You know, absolutely.
Getting
Learned
the
how
cooking
to.
shit.
Did you have
Fix
to
a few
do?
things.
Did you do like Canadian recipes in home ec class in Canada? Did you make poutine and stuff like that?
No. We never made poutine. We made I think a baked ziti one time.
Okay. Oh, all right. I bet that was electric.
Yeah, absolutely. With cheese
baked
and
ziti.
stuff. I think that's what it was. And I sewed a pillow.
Okay.
Had a
Hey,
pillow.
all right.
Did you ever have to take
It
care
was
of like
cool.
eggs? Like
What?
do you ever have to take care of like a baby or
Yeah,
eggs?
we had to do that.
We had the
yeah.
eggs. We had to take care of an egg and make sure it didn't crack for like 2 weeks. It was like
Just-
taking care of a
just
baby.
Show some care. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I like it.
I don't remember that. We probably would have just fried ours. Anyways, number 4, gym.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
awesome gym, and it was cool because at least elementary school and stuff had a bunch of athletes in our class, so
Yeah.
it was always fun. We had some like athletic girls too, so it was.
I love
always
that
fun.
the top 2 aren't classes, but go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, they are. History, my favorite class. Loved history, learning about different things.
You know what I've noticed
Wish
about-
they wouldn't have lied to me on so much stuff, but no, I'm just kidding.
No,
Yeah.
you know what's funny about history? I feel like the older we get is like when you get more into it.
Yeah,
you know
Yeah,
what I'm
you
saying? Like
appreciate
when
it
you're
more.
doing
I
this.
loved it as a kid, but you do
you?
appreciate it.
I
more
did.
as you get
I
older.
loved like the learning about like the Romans and the Greeks and all that different different stuff, especially the army. Right? I always remember because that's how we used to study in high school when I played junior, because I had a bunch of buddies in there, but we'd studied using NHL tough guys as characters.
Nice.
So remember, like I just remember Shane Sparta Churla. Like he was part of like the Spartans, and Shane Churla was just way to remember. 2, recess. That's where it all went down. We had some unbelievable King of the Mountain. We were always out there playing, kick the tennis ball, hockey, stuff like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
There was some great brawls.
What was your punishment on recess? Because like at our middle or grade school, they make you stand on the wall if you were being
I'd
bad.
have to go change my clothes. 'Cause my mom, I was the one that had to have 3 sets of clothes at school because we'd be that. So stick for us, though, it was always the same 6'8" guys.
Yeah.
So it got to the point where, as long as we went off to our own little area, we could pretty
Right.
much beat
There were no laws.
each other to like and then we'd always be on time. It helped. And actually, we were younger because like this is before all the ADHD and all this stuff. But we used to run around there.
Yeah, half my
I
recesses
mean, I
were
remember
spent
all
on
the
wall.
wrestling moves and
Yeah.
just stuff in the yard. So
We had tournaments, wrestling tournaments.
Oh,
You-
100% during recess. So that was epic. And lunch. Now, I said lunch, because our lunch, especially in junior, that's what had a euchre. We had played euchre.
Oh, heck yeah.
Dude, I'd have free fries
Yeah.
and cheese and grilled cheese sandwiches and dude, crushed the euchre game. But that was always lunch every day. So
We gotta get
and we'd
euchre
always
going
be in
around
there
here.
late for class. So
We got to do euchre here.
what's
We
that?
haven't played euchre here. We should have some
We should
going
actually.
around.
I'm a big euchre guy.
Love it. So, yeah. Yes, Kenny, recess and lunch are official. They are on the manifest.
Okay. Yeah, to be fair. You look like Randy Savage in this picture, by the way. I just want to let you know.
He kind of does.
He look like the Macho Man.
Kevin in the chat. I remember taking home ec in middle school. We learned how to make Rice Krispie treats. I got home and asked my mom what was so hard about being a homemaker.
Oh,
it did
shit.
not go well. That's tough.
Yeah, that's tough.
Pete Smith, the most useful thing I ever learned in home ec was how to put a button back on a shirt. So there you go.
Yeah, real shit.
Absolutely. All right, last. Could be least. We'll see.
I like this picture, by the way. This picture is goated.
All right, let's see it. My top 5.
Ooh,
oh, yeah.
With the hair,
Is
the
that Neil?
ponytail.
No, that's a tree that's behind me.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a tree.
It is. Let's see the tree.
That's
on
a
the
tree
roof.
that's behind me.
Yeah, look
I won our high school friends golf outing, and so I did a cannonball into the lake. I made the putt on 18 to win it, so I did
You
a
have a
cannonball
man
into
bun?
the lake.
Yes.
No, it's
No,
a
it's
tree.
a tree in the background.
You see the
That's
trees
not
behind
a
me?
tree.
That's
Yes,
a
it is.
ponytail.
That is not a tree.
That's a ponytail,
No,
Neil.
it is a tree, everybody.
It is a tree.
It is not the same color as any of the other trees.
Yes,
Neil,
it
that's
is
a ponytail.
literally a tree.
You ain't got a lot of this, Neil. That's a ponytail.
Yeah, because I had a ponytail.
You can see it.
No, I
Is
did
there
not.
What tree
Is
is
there
brown?
a woman standing behind you?
No, it's the tree to the right,
Look-
the tree directly
look at the
behind me, and the
tree.
tree to the left.
But you have hair hanging out the back of your head.
No, it
That's
is a tree.
ponytail.
That's
not
I see
a
it.
tree.
I see it.
Thank you, D-Mac.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Anyway, number
I
5.
think they're just
That's
messing with you
a
right now.
Number 5, because of my hair, women's studies. No, I'm kidding.
Right.
Number 5, women's studies. Because in college, it got me out of chemistry. It was weighted the same towards your degree. There was no decision to make. It was going to be women's studies all the time. I did learn a lot, though, too. I did learn a lot about the way people think and how they view themselves and
How
all
to
that
braid
stuff.
a ponytail.
It was one of the more valuable classes I ended up ever taking.
We support the women.
Number 4, astronomy. They cut those lights off, man.
Yeah.
Out.
Yeah.
Like a light. Like it is. When they cut
I
those
give you
lights
about
off,
8.
man, it was like a free nap.
Yeah.
In astronomy class. Number 3, advanced gym. I took it because it was like a gym class.
Advanced gym?
But they ran your ass into the ground like it was like advanced gym.
Yeah, I'm like,
you-
what is advanced gym?
I just thought like it was just like another way to take a gym class.
Yeah.
That gym teacher was on you, man.
Yeah.
Running miles every day, running sprints and ladders. But you did get Fridays as like free days, so
Oh,
that
that's
was pretty
cool.
cool. Number 2, regular gym. It was like advanced gym, except without doing all the running and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I will say this: in advanced gym,
Advanced gym.
I was in very good shape back then, man. At
I could
advanced gym class.
imagine. Advanced gym.
Number 1, leisure time sports, because it was exactly what you think it would be. You didn't do shit in that class, man.
Yeah.
You didn't do anything. Like basketball or, indoor soccer, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You didn't really do anything.
Leisure time.
Time sports, baby.
Crazy, bro.
An update. I don't know if you saw Ryan Lentz in the chat. He said he added the ponytail. So that's not a tree, Neil.
Oh, okay.
That is real hair. It's
That
just
is a
not
ponytail.
yours.
Well, I thought it was the trees behind me.
There's no way that's a tree.
That's not a tree, not even
He
close.
said the goatee wasn't real either, was it?
No.
Okay, so that's
I didn't even notice I had a goatee on there.
Yeah,
You're
like,
distracted by the ponytail.
that's fire editing, right?
Good job, Ryan Lentz.
So to answer your question, no, I never had a ponytail.
Okay, well, yeah, that makes sense now.
there
but
you
to
go.
blame
that's
it
a
on a
ponytail in that
tree
picture.
and try to convince me that was a tree.
Well, I know I never had a ponytail, so what else could it have been?
Not
unless
a
it was
tree, though.
unless the
I've
truth
seen
was
trees.
altered.
I've seen trees. That was not
Definitely
a tree.
wasn't a tree.
So all
Just
right.
say you didn't have a ponytail.
I told you that, but you didn't accept it.
I didn't, because the picture clearly stated you had a ponytail. But
Which I did not.
Shout out Ryan, man.
Yeah, Lentz just creating content.
Tell him about Mark White.
Mark White.
Mark White. Hey, Mark White, the good people over at Mark White, they trying to get you in your dream home. And for $5,000, they will take that off of your closing costs. And you know the economy is jacked up right now. We all need as much relief as we can get. Mark White got you, man. You call the boys over at Mark White today, 248-290-8242, or go to markwhitesales.com. Once again, 248-290-8242, or go to markwhitesales.com to make your housing come true.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Neil Rule here for Feldman Chevy in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. They got the great lease deals going right now. The Silverado Crew Cab. Look into that one. The Equinox front-wheel drive as well. You can take a look at the inventory right in that QR code above my head. They're the #1 Chevrolet dealer in Michigan. They're the nation's #1 EV dealer. They're doing it right over there. I know from experience. I've dealt with George, my salesman Tim Brown over there. Quality people, man. That's just the best way I know how to put it. They're quality people there at Feldman Chevy in Novi. They'll get you the Chevy you want. They'll get you in a price range that works for you. That's just the way that it works. Feldman Chevy in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. All right, keeping it pushing. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty. We have Stick here. We have Chase, KG as well. Two birds, both stone. Neil, the man bun would be a good look for you.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like you need some kind of facial here, though,
Yeah, you do.
to pull off the man bun.
But
And I
you
don't.
did in that picture.
Like with the man bun, you can't have as much tone. Like you got way too much tone for a man.
For a man bun?
The
All right,
chat
that's
is
fair.
lighting you up, Neil.
About what?
About trying to convince everybody that was a tree when
Well,
you
I
didn't
knew-
even know what the hell it was.
Well, I figured it was
pivoted
because
real
I know
quick
that
to
I
tree.
didn't have a man bun.
Are you blind though? Like that was clearly hair. Like you could have just said
Well,
that.
was I
that's
not in front of trees?
true? But that didn't look like a tree.
So that's what I figured it was. I didn't think that I would be.
There's no brown
Well, you
trees.
could have
Neil.
just said I don't know
Altered.
what that is. Not like trying
I
to convince
figured it
me
was a tree.
that I don't know what trees look like.
I was standing in front of trees in that shot.
Well,
So that's what I figured it
where to
was.
go.
D-Mac agreed.
I
know,
thought it
both
was
of
a
you.
tree coming off the back of his head.
It was.
I can't see.
Yeah.
At least he admits it.
All right. Woodward Sports chat thread. Danny G. Every bigger guy needs to study Neil's glow up. I've never been accused of a quote glow up before.
I mean, technically,
pretty funny.
that's a glow up.
Tell him, Neil. It's not easy, but it's definitely not hard if you change
No.
your diet and exercise.
Yeah, it's funny, Danny G, because people ask me about that sometimes, and I'm like, yeah, man, 1 drop of sweat and 30 grams of sugar a day, and you can do it too over 4 years.
It's not easy, but you can get there.
118 pounds gone. That's the way you do it every single day.
Commitment.
Yep.
It's easy to do, and it's easy not to do, and that's the problem. That's why I can't write a book about it. It'd be
Right,
one
right.
chapter.
Well, no, it's similar to sobriety, honestly. Like, you're fighting every day not to go back down that sugar path.
Right.
Right.
And like that's it. It's very, very simple. That's why D-Mac and I talk in the summer. D-Mac and I we do a segment or two on that.
Yeah.
Where we kind of break down and kick it about that.
Yeah. Inspirational nonetheless.
Yeah. All right. Lions draft. And look, just a fan. Is Neil's man bun fake news? Correct. Absolutely. All right. Here's the deal, D-Mac. This Matthew Golden thing. He's the receiver from Texas that everybody's talking about because the Lions used a visit and they brought him in, and Ian Rappaport reported it, and immediately, D-Mac, everybody turns to this is the JMO replacement. Help me, D-Mac. Help me understand this talk. Please. Please do.
Why are you replacing him?
Great question. That's the question I'm trying to get an answer for.
Why are we giving up on him or whoever? I don't know. I mean, isn't it about every year you have to draft new guys and guys that fit your scheme and stuff like that? So
yeah, The hiccup is because Matt Golden is considered a top-end receiver. He's probably going within the first 1 or 2 rounds. And you only have 2 more years on J-Mo. Like, the organization kind of already alluded that they're going to pick up his 5th-year option. And if that's the case, you have him for another 2 years. But after that, especially if he continues to play like we know he can play, you're looking at maybe a $30 million, $35 million a year guy. And that's where fans are kind of like, oh, if you draft Matt Golden, clearly that means that's a J-Mo replacement.
And how long?
2 years.
So you're going to draft a guy, sit him for 2 years, and then have 3
I
years
don't-
left
I
on
don't
his
follow
rookie
that
deal.
logic.
You're right in the same spot.
See, like this is the point I'm driving at right now.
Right.
And like, look, I already know. I don't have to look down. I know where the comments are going to go with this. Like, so you're going to draft this guy and hope that he's J-Mo when you have J-Mo right here.
Or, and how about this, guys? It's the draft season. You know, this could be a smoke screen.
It could.
Brad Holmes could have information that the guys picking behind them may want this guy. So what do you do to increase your value and your position? You bring in the guys they want to talk to, and now you can position them to maybe trade up or otherwise have some more influence in this. So, like, that's what I love about Brad Holmes. Nobody knows what this dude's actually going to do, and he's proven that what he is going to do is going to work, but we don't know what it is. So everybody just quit guessing. Like, it's crazy. Oh, they brought in a wide receiver? Yeah, they also brought in a tackle. Are they replacing Penei Sewell in a couple years? No. You got to talk to everybody.
What I don't understand is, and RJ Graham says, why can't we have 3 wide receivers? We can have St. Brown, J-Mo, Golden.
There you go.
What is wrong with this picture? No, and RJ, like, I'm with you 1,000%, but that's not what the talk is. And it's just another example of, see, like, I'll tell you guys this. And I'm kind of going back over it right now. What Jameson Williams provides to the Lions, what his game is one of the most irreplaceable things in the NFL.
Thank you.
Chat's going to be big mad about this.
I don't know why. He has an elite skill in this league.
A skill that you don't find.
Yep.
And you can't teach.
And you can't teach. Yep. And, again, you can't work at it and become it. He's touched by God, man.
Yep. And
when he gets the football in his hand, D-Mac, he ends up in the end zone. It's really weird, I know, but that's the way that it works. And D-Mac, look, I know I'm going back to it, and I know that I'm telling you what I've told you before. Jameson Williams is special. Not in the Lions system special, in the NFL special.
Oh, 100%. And, you know, the skill set. And, you know, my favorite thing is how hard he blocks downfield for the rest of his guys. What part of the adherent to the herd. He's, to me, until I'm told otherwise, he's a big part of this wide receiver core and one that, you know, takes the top off the other team's defense that they got to respect. And we've seen what he can do in the biggest games also.
He's always at his best.
Get better. What are we acting like he's 30 or 33 or whatever? Like he's still at the beginning of his career.
But like I said, the hang up is you're gonna have to probably
big
pay him
fucking deal.
years.
Can we win a Super Bowl and then worry about that? Like,
Well,
I'm
what's the
sick and
salary
tired of
cap?
fucking always worrying about where the fucking money is down the road or whatever. This is where you're at now. Are we not in a window to win?
And what's the salary cap going to be in 2 years? You
Well,
have enough
I mean,
to cover
everyone
Gabe.
And
always
we'll deal
runs
with
to
that. And to Neil's point, it was always going to be there if he's just the lead of a player across the league. Look at what these guys are getting, so let's enjoy this. Who's more valuable? Who you worried about paying that money to? Because Amon-Ra St. Brown sure ain't a, you know, you got good players. You got really good players, and now it's to take advantage. I think that he's such a bigger part of this offense this year because of that, to your argument, because of the control before they have to. Like, this is their window. Do we forget that? Like, I don't, and you know what? If Brad Holmes goes out and drafts Golden and drafts whoever, whatever else, because they adhere to the culture and can be part of this team that brings back a Super Bowl.
And it just wouldn't make sense while you're in the midst of a Super Bowl run to put your faith in a rookie when you have an established NFL product. Like, defenses have to plan for J-Mo. That's already well and established. So
No, they are worried about him.
yeah, you have
They
to
don't
be.
plan for him. They are scared of him.
You have
worried about because he provides something. Tyreek Hill's days of doing that
Oh, it's over.
appear to be over.
The Lions are blessed because we have arguably the two fastest players in the NFL on our offense, in Jahmyr Gibbs and J-Mo.
And I'll tell you this: if you want to go by talent, like ceiling talent, Sewell, Gibbs, J-Mo in no particular order.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Yeah.
Across the whole Lions roster. People want to get real with it, I'll get real with it right there. J-Mo's as talented as anybody on this roster. Yes.
Ding, ding.
Sewell and Gibbs. Argue it.
You can't.
You can't argue that, man.
But Neil, he's been suspended. Neil, he had 300 yards the second year.
I know. And somebody in the chat here, and I missed who it was, but you know who you were. Why is everybody always trying to get rid of J-Mo? D-Mac, why is everybody always trying to get rid of J-Mo? Yeah, I've talked about why do you think
Not
that
any
is?
of the smart ones.
Every team needs a scapegoat.
Hey, all I gotta
right?
say, isn't that Flannel Sam's take?
Nah,
Get rid of J-Mo?
Flannel done came around. I got to give him his credit. He done
Well, then why
he
did
learned his
Wait. Flannel Sam even came around, so we're not even talking to him?
He came around this past season.
When
yes.
when he had to buy a jersey and sit up there and wear it, yeah, he came around. Like, what are you gonna do? But yeah, I don't.
But even as the season went along, I mean, it's when you see it for yourself, like you can't deny it. Like the kid is special.
Well, yeah, it just seems like J-Mo's the one thing you can point at the offense, the one thing that you can critique.
Yeah.
Because everybody.
Why?
I'm just saying from the outside perspective, because he's the wild card, right? He's the one wild card on the team, and people don't like it.
But based on what?
I don't
He's
know.
off the
Rasheed
field.
Wallace was a wild card. They love Rasheed.
Because he got wrapped up and it took him a little bit to show maturity. He's
Yeah.
not the same person that he was when he got drafted or came into the league and being around. Like, has anybody not seen that? And he's still, he's still a kid, but he's surrounded by some adults and some men that love him, and he's shown that maturity. Dan Campbell told you he's adhered to the herd. And here's the one thing.
Do you see it, D-Mac?
Yes,
as
when
a
you
guy,
see
as
it,
a
and
guy
if
that
you-
kind of lived that.
The
to some
guy who
degree.
was the black sheep.
Yeah.
Right? Like, didn't have, like, it's because team is first. When he realizes that, right? Where it's one of these things is a conversation with J-Mo is like the conversation with me. It's not about what I'm doing, like, because I don't see the perspective on when I'm doing it to myself or things that I'm doing, like some of the incorrigible things that maybe have been reported or run into, right? But the fact is, when you see how it's affecting the guys beside you, you don't want, that's the worst thing that he wants, because he wants to be part of this. You don't block downfield as hard for your own team and do all the rest of the stuff if you're not all in invested.
And
So
you don't show up at
now
Pierce
he's a pro.
Elementary and read if you don't care about the community. And like
Dude, he's
people
out there
love to talk
buying,
about bad
everybody at the stores, he's buying them all
Yep.
food. Like he's part of this community and wants to be. And sometimes it just takes some of us to learn how
That's
to be
why I
ourselves,
don't
because they
see
want him
him
to
with-
be himself. Because and don't you get that? Which is different for this team, because there's personalities, right? There's personalities, and I think in sports too many times you don't get to see as much of the individual and the personalities unless it's bad, right? Unless there's a dark light shining on it. So the fact is, like haven't we all been immature or had to grow up or whatever? I've seen it. I've watched them. Dan Campbell's told me, and you know what?
Yep.
Like, I trust what's coming out of there, and you watch the way that they're used. So, no, he's a huge part. I don't understand it. But that's where these guys live now. They just got to go out and win, shut everybody up. That's where we're
And
at.
he helps you do that more than most because he has a skill.
Are you in a
that is
better
unattainable.
position with him healthy in the lineup, right? Stretching that defense, making those catches through the middle. The kid will go through the middle too.
Yeah.
Woodward
Like,
Sports.
he's not a prima donna, guys.
Woodward Sports chat thread, Danny G. He's uber talented, a great kid, great teammate, works hard AF, and isn't a diva. What more do you effing people want? And
That's what I'm like.
choir boy on Sundays.
Like,
I don't understand it. Like, but this is the default thing. He brings in a receiver and everyone runs to that, dude. Oh, this is the J-Mo replacement. J-Mo replacement for what?
I mean, it wasn't everyone. It was one dumb beat reporter who was trying to get clicks. And he got them. Everybody's talking about it.
Well, I mean,
then why are we entertaining it?
why did it get clicks?
Like, why are we talking about?
Because
why
people
we
are
just
interested in
spend a
it.
segment talking about some stupid fucking idiot.
Yeah,
that fucking doesn't even have a clue. Was he from it? Was he a Detroit?
No,
reporter?
he's from AZ Sports.
Well, that's what I'm fucking saying. So why are we wasting time?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Burn in the super
God
chat.
Dang it.
Everyone talks
We're
big.
gotta draft defense first, anyways, right?
At the end of the day, Brad Holmes going to draft who's best for this team, and I don't give a damn what he does. He's smarter than me. He's smarter than all of us watching. So just accept the Brad Holmes greatness. Just embrace it. Sit back.
Burn.
It's like a self-driving car now. We don't have to worry.
Burn in the super chat, and he's right on with this. Everyone talks big about us wanting to draft a guy who can be a knucklehead because he's talented. Then we draft one, and they want to complain. And Burn, that's been my thing about it forever.
Yeah.
Like we all say we want, like James Pierce, right?
Yeah, but this is different. Like, J-Mo has never been uncoachable. I would argue he's never been a knucklehead. Yes, did he need to mature in some areas? Absolutely. But he's never been a
I would say he was immature.
Yeah, but he's never
more
been
than a
cancer.
knucklehead or whatever,
he's
because
never been
knuckleheads
selfish.
don't learn.
Yeah, he's
and
never been
knuckleheads
selfish.
don't
He's always
adhere
been a
to the
team guy.
culture.
He's always been a team guy.
Yeah, that's what makes me laugh. Like, we always say we want these guys. No, you don't. Look at J-Mo. And J-Mo's doing it.
Right.
1,000-yard seasons
And it could be
on
a
less
lot
than 80
worse.
catches.
He
dude.
doesn't have off-the-field problems beside the gun charge. He really didn't have off-the-field issues
Well,
like that.
he doesn't because it's dismissed.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a
But
legal gun. You're allowed to carry it.
You know people are still going to hold that against him. But regardless, he doesn't have a lot of off-the-field issues.
Hold something he didn't do against him.
Yeah,
No, he did it. It's just
Well, no, he didn't because we check his record. It's not there.
no, but he did it. Like he did it.
Yeah, but it was
there
a technicality.
It was a piece of paper. That
It was
he
a
didn't have.
technicality.
Right. Like I said about J-Mo last year, he doesn't read the fine print.
Well,
that's
here's-
my biggest knock.
That's a
on
good
J-Mo.
way to put it.
Right.
Like,
Here's
it's
the
same thing
difference.
with
He just
the
clicks
gambling.
accept.
Here's why it works, because I see the knuckleheads being brought up. What about Charles Rogers? What about this? What about wait? It starts
Rest in peace.
with the guys here in the culture, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, that allow in that door.
Yes.
That's what it is. So if it is a knucklehead, it's their knucklehead.
And look who you talking about. Charles Rogers, God rest his soul, had addiction issues. He had all type of shit going on.
And here's the
like
thing too with
injuries,
Charles.
like-
Here's the thing too with like Charles Rogers, stuff like that. I always go back to this, guys. You know how I work. The bottom line: 1,000 yards, under 80 catches, never happens in this league. When you give him the football, 1 out of every 9 times, he's flipping it back to the referee. I don't care about anything else. I care about winning. He helps you win. So if you want to get caught up in your feelings and stuff like that, you go ahead. When he gets the rock, he scores touchdowns. Good talk, everybody.
Check that break.
People with the Cody Ingle, his record doesn't say anything. Stick. It's like, yeah, the Fab Five didn't make the finals either. Just because we're saying it didn't happen, like just because it's not on paper doesn't mean it just went away and it never happened. So you can play those semantics game, but I saw Chris Webber in the finals call a timeout. I saw that. It happened. But you could say it didn't, but it did. Sorry, Cody.
Tell them about Mad Packs.
Absolutely. D-Mac here to talk to you about Mad Packs. Mad Packs. They're fire. They're the hottest new cannabis brand, and they're partnering with Woodward Sports. You know what that means? You're going to be feeling good no matter when. Mad Pack's going to take you to the next level. High-low is getting you high for the low, delivering top-tier quality at unbeatable prices. Boom Shakalaka. Boom Shakalaka is a live resin-infused tarantula. That means it has a keef on the outside. It's really sticky. This one's the bomb. Blizzard packs, THCA, moon rocks that hit like a blizzard, coming to select retailers in May of 2025. Stay tuned with Woodward Sports Network for all the latest updates.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network. Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce. your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsAndSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Spring is in the air and Michigan is buzzing. That's BUZZN, the 7.5 milligram real THC wrapped in bubbles, crafted with real fruit juice and no artificial sweeteners. They're big in flavor but low in calories and 100%, Neil, hangover free. It's all bubbles with no troubles catching watermelon, cherry, strawberry, or try one of the two brand new flavors, raspberry lemonade and peach. Crack a can, take a sip, catch a buzz. Feel about any of Loom's 38 locations across Michigan. Use code WSN30 for 30% off your entire order online or in store. Go to www.loom.com today.
30% off, man. That's a
Pretty good. Today's economy.
Just saying.
Turdy.
That's almost a third.
Turdy.
Almost a third. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Darren McCarty. Stick is here in the building, Chasing the Chase Lounge. Of course, we have KG in for Spenny, who will be getting called up to the show.
Yes, sir.
Show.
Ermanni and Edwards, 2 to 4. So he'll be on there, so make sure you check it out. All right, we were just wrapping up the JMO discussion. And Cody Engel, going to laugh when JMO's a Chief in 3 years and the fan base loses their mind. No, I don't think they're in the business of getting rid of irreplaceable football players. Jamison Williams is irreplaceable. What he does is irreplaceable. Tell me the comp to JMO in today's game.
He's a unicorn.
He's a unicorn.
Yeah. You said it, Tyreek Hill would be the closest, but Tyreek Hill's days are over.
Like, guys, the more I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's easier to replace Branch or Kirby or Amon-Ra St. Brown than it is to replace Jamison Williams and what he provides versus the availability of it in the rest of the league.
I can't argue that.
That's
I
tough.
can't necessarily argue
tough. That's a tough statement.
Who you getting to replace him?
I don't know if it's a tough statement because you look at the durability and whatever, somebody to catch a ball inside and not taking away what Amon-Ra does. But I think that comparison or a safety in the draft or whatever, I think it comes in. You mentioned something during break, Hetty. This speed does not come around every draft.
It don't.
Right? There's usually some sort of good thumper in there or somebody who's got great hands that can catch, and not taking anything away from Amon-Ra St. Brown. But the unicorn, right? Like how many Sergei Fedorovs you have come through? And I mean speed-wise. That's comparable.
Well, and D-Mac, that's my thing. You want to get into it, and you know, because I've told you this before, to this day, I think that Sergei Fedorov is the greatest Red Wing of all time. I think that. Yeah. I think that. Based on,
and I mean, you're not wrong.
Based on the totality of his game, how talented he was, what he could do on the ice. He could do things on the ice nobody else could.
So the argument, right? It depends on which way you lean, right? Because you're going to argue, right? And you're going to argue Gordie Howe, or you're going to argue Steve Eisman. Right. But the real one is Nick Lidstrom. Only.
And that's my number 2.
Only, right? But I say only because 20-plus years. Because of how he did it at the high, like and sort of under the radar. If you could ever be under the radar, like and playing 30 minutes a game in every
in front
situation,
of the goalie,
like you forget it. It's the flash against, but to argue 1 and 2, Neil, like you're not wrong, right? Like
it comes down to your flavor,
right? And the excitement and what happens is the flash and the excitement usually takes over than the memory. Dude, when you mention greatest Red Wings of all time or your favorite Red Wings of all time, when does Nick Lidstrom come up? Unless you were because he's the most, like you forget about him.
Correct.
And then you feel embarrassed because it's oh my god the whole time.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and that's the point because I say that Lidstrom is the Stevie Y of defensemen.
Like we forget, so we forget. No, I'd even say even more. Like I forget because of just like
you tell me you played with him.
No, but when you think back and it's more or less like over time, it's just like what he really did. And I think is that like once you see him out of it, 20 straight years on the same locking it down, 30 minutes a game at that highest level.
Mike O. Hey, Neil, ever hear of a guy named Gordie? D-Mac, Tell me about Sergei Fedorov.
What do you mean?
Like, tell Michael about Sergei Fedorov.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, like, it's
How
like,
different?
How am I? You know what? When I played with Gordie Howe, like, what are you talking about? Like, I watched the videos like you did, and yes, as dominant as it was, but being on the ice and just seeing it, and it's your flavor. What do you rank more important to your personal taste? And you're not wrong, because it's all greatness.
He would have been a Hall of Famer at any position on the ice.
Who? Sergei?
Sergei.
Oh yeah, no, that like his. Yes, the way that he could have won. He could have won a Norris Trophy on defense.
Yes.
You got to remember he played
Because he won a Selke as a forward.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And a Hart.
Yeah, right. Which again, I say it.
MVP.
He won an MVP, and Steve Yzerman never did. Now that was timing for Yzerman because he was in the Gretzky Lemieux era.
Won right. They both won
Right.
the the most prestigious, not the Hart Trophy. It's the one voted by the players.
Correct.
Right, which Yzerman got. They both have won that.
Right.
That's the one that you take.
But I say it. I don't say that to denigrate Yzerman. I say that to let everybody know that Sergei Fedorov is one of the most elite hockey players in the history of the game.
And
D-Mac, am I full of shit?
No,
here
you're right. But it's just the way that the wrapping is around it and the circumstances leads because of he left and went on and played other places, that it leaves that bad taste that people sometimes don't just look at the game. Like here's a great thing, the great segue. Tonight on Vice TV, they got that new series, The Grudge, going. Well, at 10 o'clock is the Detroit Red Wing Colorado Avalanche rivalry. I'm sure you'll see highlights of all these guys. You tell me tomorrow.
Yeah.
So check it out.
Shout out Vice.
Nicholas Duncan, Fedorov, and Datsuk. And I'll say this. To me, Datsuk is not in Fedorov's league.
Different players.
Yeah, they different.
Like, I know he's Datsuk is when the steak sizzles on the grill.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh. Sergei's the steak.
Yeah.
The perfectly cooked steak.
Yep.
Like that's
Medium
what
rare.
it is to me. And D-Mac knows this. Been talking about it to him for a decade. I'll die on the hill for Sergei Fedorov.
Oh, yeah. And Neil, I know we kind of got off on a tangent, but I'm going to serve you up something right now. I'm salty in the chat. We don't need J-Mo. Golf will make every guy that fast.
It's true.
Elaborate. Expound.
I think. What do you think if you asked Jared Goff? Do you need Jameson Williams?
Yes.
Right? Like, doesn't it make his life easier to take, like, and as more comfortable to whatever else? Absolutely.
I mean, if I'm going to defend Jared Goff on this,
Here you go.
J-Mo has spent some time on the sidelines, and Goff did okay without him. The offense didn't just shut down, guys. Can we?
No, but
no one's going to acknowledge that. We're just going to say.
Can you agree that this offense went to another level once they got that chemistry issue down?
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm not saying I don't want J-Mo.
No,
but
I know
let's
you're
not
not. I know
act
you're not.
like this was sputtering in the mud either. This was.
It wasn't.
He's the Nas. He's the get you to where you need to go a little bit faster, but. You know, the car was still running without J-Mo.
It was, but it went to another level. That's all. With J-Mo.
Don't discredit Goff and what he's done here in Detroit.
No, never that.
What he's delivered you as a fan. What he's given to all of us is hope.
Sticks so good.
I could get you buddies for lunch.
Yeah, please.
I could give you that as a matter of fact, and I could get you 10% off your buddies for lunch as well. And look, we know the drill. Buddies is Detroit. Detroit is Buddy.
Facts.
Buddy's invented Detroit-style pizza. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Bigger
Use a
facts.
promo code 10meal. Go to buddiespizza.com. There's 22 locations. Use that promo code 10meal. Get 10% off your order right now or for dinner tonight, whatever you want to do. As I said, they're all about Detroit. They've got great partnerships, the Detroit Zoo, the Michigan Humane Society, all of it. But the bottom line is this, guys, like everything else I talk about, the pizza is good. 10 meal. Use it. BuddiesPizza.com. Buddy's Pizza, the original Detroit-style pizza since 1946.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. Shop online at woodwardsports.com.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Shop.woodwardsports.com, your key to the best in Detroit sports wearables. Get geared up, draft, Pistons, playoff push. There's a Woodward golf line as well. Tigers also all season long. We got the best, everybody. Shop.woodwardsports.com. Final segment of the show, Neil Rule, Darren McCarty, KG, Stick. A lot of fun with Stick here today
I
in
like
the sound booth.
man. KG, I don't know why you're always bitching. This is a fun job.
It's a tight-ass motherfucking sound booth, but I don't hate the job. I don't.
Hey, Planet Fitness will help out getting that some extra space in that sound booth.
That is true. Yeah, it's up to
please.
you. We've talked about that. Stick in the DRQ jacket. Mike G, Neil, respectfully, Datsuk was better defensively than Sergey.
Semantics.
Yeah. You want more Salkies? No, I mean, our like different.
His ability to lift the stick.
It's different, man. Like Sergey's speed and his perceptiveness and the quickness or whatever. It's like you don't have a chance. It's gone before it is. Pavel just toy with you.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to get it from him, or he'd lean on you and stuff like this.
Pop
They're
your
both
stick up and steal
phenomenal defensive players. Look at they got what, like 3 Salkies or 4 Salkies? What's Pavel got? 3 of them? You know what I'm saying? It's just like you can't argue if you're going to give who gets the nod. But they're still like, here, who gets the nod? They're both like 90 plus percentile, defenders.
And I would go to this.
And Sergey's a better skater, and Sergey's, like elite to one-on-one, absolute speed. Pavel's gonna go through 5 guys and come out with it and make the goalie look sick, but Sergey can do the same thing.
Yeah, and I would say having to check Forsberg at his height in the Stanley Cup playoffs while leading the team in scoring and running the point on the power play. You see what I'm saying here, D-Mac?
I get it, but you can't, it's not an argument of whatever else. It's apples to apples in this case, right? Of what do you like better? Now, Pavel, little revisionist history for the younger crowd who have seen it. It's more recent to whatever else. Sergey, it's more forgotten. But if you go back and watch, and it's just elite. Watch, let them watch.
Let the boy watch. Mike G said respectfully, though, so it's all.
Oh yeah,
and I'm being respectfully too. What else people got in the chat here today? Woodward Sports chat thread. RM Dole. If we're ranking Red Wings, it's probably Howe, Lidstrom, Yzerman, Fedorov.
Why is it? But why is it Howe?
I
Because you told me that it was
Yeah.
or what, and I get the greatness of original 6 teams or whatever, but it's a personal preference. You're not wrong. That's what I'm saying.
If you're into that, that's fine. I'm more into dynamic players, not people that just played well for 20 years. Like I'm into
Or 50, like
or
Gordy.
50, whatever. I'm more into the Fedorov, the Stevie Y, the Lidstrom, no doubt about it. And you're D-Mac. I do this every single time with Nick Lidstrom. What you just said people do, I do it.
Yeah, we all do it.
I do it all the time. It's criminal how underrated he is. He should have the same reverence as Bobby Orr. He should, because he's every bit as good. Every bit as good, if not better.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I don't.
Would you say Sergey is transcendent?
Yes.
Okay. Could you say the same about Pavel?
in
here's
different
the
ways.
difference.
They're different. It's a Hummer versus a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
One dated
Right.
Anna Kournikova, so that's
That
like-
tips
That's-
you an edge. D-Mac, I'm not going to lie.
If all things are equal,
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm going Anna
That
Kournikova.
give you an edge. You do.
And the one that dated Kournikova was the point guy on the power play, too,
Hey,
and played
hey.
defense. Like, what are we talking about
There you
here?
go.
Come on.
There's levels to this game.
Yes, there is. And I'm not going to hold it against him because he wanted to drive a Ferrari around L.A. with Anna Kournikova in the front seat.
How could you?
How could you?
Right.
Absolutely, how could you? Yes. Tigers, afternoon game today.
Yes, sir.
Big game.
Watch as soon as I get off.
The season rides on this game, does it not, D-Man? Who's going to win this series?
Bounce back game.
Yeah, the Brewers fancy
Must
themselves as a
win.
playoff team.
Must win.
The Tigers fancy themselves as a playoff team as well. Kiter Montero.
Yes, sir.
On the bump. He's back from the minors.
Who they send down? Please say Kenta.
Hannafy.
Ah,
Yeah,
damn
they
it.
sent down Hannafy.
Does Kenta have minor league options?
No, he's a vet.
Oh yeah, that's true. God
Yeah.
damn it.
Lineup for the Tigers. Malloy, leadoff. Torres, second. Ibanez, third. Torque, fourth. Green, fifth. Baez, sixth, playing third base. Nito catching today. Sweeney playing short, batting eighth. And Kreidler playing center field, batting ninth. What?
Chat.
What? Do tell.
Uh-oh.
They were asking me about the HOA update.
Oh, yes.
You know we got to get it.
And
You know we got to
then
get it.
Diddy said he's going to run against me for president. Free oil for everybody in the neighborhood.
A pallet.
Right.
That I got from Costco. Right?
Right.
Is that what he's
Big
going to say? Can you believe Costco tweeted that?
Yeah, it's
we have
don't
never
sell
sold
pallets.
We've never sold this amount of baby oil.
That's because it was HGH oil. Like, that's what, not HGH. It was, what's the date rape drug? What's it called?
What?
GHB.
GHB.
Yeah,
GHB,
sorry.
yeah.
Glad that's not really on the top of my head. But yeah, that's what they were saying it was, liquid GHB.
Shout out
If we want to get technical about it.
GHB. Shout out Sebastian Janikowski.
There
Yeah, there you go.
But you want HOA updates?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Real quick.
We updated the cameras at the gate.
Hey.
Okay.
The old cameras were facades. They were fugazi. They
didn't
record.
work.
They were just there for to.
Oh, I like
to
the long
detour.
game.
Well, they used to work, but the old HOA just let them go to shit and
Yeah.
never updated them. Now I can just log in my phone and see who's driving in the neighborhood.
Nice.
So that's
Ring
we had-
cameras on point.
We looked at all the water basins in the neighborhood to see which ones were flooding from leaves gathering in them. We're cleaning those out this week. Lots of stuff going on.
Bro, Stick gonna go corrupt. I can't wait for Stick to become corrupt.
Never happened. Uncorruptible.
He's gonna be
Uncorruptible. I was corrupt then, like all the way to like 25, 30. Now I clean sailing.
Okay.
Much nicer life.
Who farted wants to know. Stick, did you send the last president a bill for the HOA dues?
The potentially $20K that
Yes.
he owes us.
Yes.
We're putting the lien on the house at a minimum,
We're-
right?
the
You don't
minute-
need to send him a
Stall
bill.
The
him
minute
out.
it goes up for sale is when the lien comes. Can't sell it without paying off the lien.
Right.
So that's when we take back the momentum.
Yeah,
Right. Because
correct.
right now he could just tell us to kick rocks. I'm not paying it.
And that's fine.
But if you want to sell it, make your money and get out of here like you said you would when we kicked you out of being president. Oh, I'm leaving. Okay. Leave.
Okay.
Pay us.
You'll get the money.
Man, we better.
The lien is the hammer. It's
Oh,
in
man.
it's in the
And
it's in the
best-
paperwork of the
best part
HOA
is-
agreement.
The best part is that $20K wouldn't go to HOA. It would just be part of the slush fund that they set up because it's overage money at this point.
Oh shit.
Yep.
So then we could just throw like a carnival or do something.
Stick dipping in that fun.
Oh man, we're gonna bring.
Stick going corrupt. I
We're gonna
promise
bring a concert. We'll have like G-Eazy perform.
G-Eazy. Where the hell he been at?
I don't know. I think he was just here. That's
Just
why.
know I mean it.
DNC ENT, 4 more years. 4 more years. But yeah, it is like the lien thing is funny because he knows he owes it.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
You know, he knows he owes
He can
it.
play hardball as much as you want.
Yeah, that is electric. It's funny to me. Everyone complains about the HOA. You signed the paperwork to be in it when you bought the house.
Yeah. Well, when you assume that if you have an HOA, the neighborhood's going to be nicer, people are going to keep their
Yeah.
stuff up. So like, I had no problem with it. Like, in our HOA fees, what, $50 a month? It's not. Doesn't kill you. It does work out to $600 a year though, but $600 a year times however many houses, we get about $84,000 a year for the HOA to spend to upgrade.
Yeah, it's similar setup in our
Yeah,
neighborhood.
they haven't been doing it.
It's funny to me that everyone complains about it. You signed the agreement.
Yeah.
You signed it. If you don't want to be in an HOA, then don't live here.
Right. It's that easy.
Life is easy
then
sometimes.
you can park as many trailers in your front yard as you want. It's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, that'll do it for today. Are you back in tomorrow, Stick?
No, I am not.
You are not.
Mr. Chase will be handling your audio.
Yes.
Okay.
And Friday, you'll have a whole different crew.
Potentially, I'll be in Friday as your TD. I'm still figuring out the TD situation.
It's going to be different on Friday.
I kind of want to maybe take the reins on a nickel package Friday from the booth.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Let's see if JB can coach me up enough. I've got some self-taught skills.
Okay.
Yeah, Chase is
Yeah,
solid.
check out Fast and Loose. You know, me and JB have been cooking it up in the morning.
Yeah, the auto racing pod.
Yeah.
It's a lot. The nickel package Friday. The TD is
Yes, yeah.
You're front and center.
Chase is solid, though.
Okay.
He know what he's doing in here a little
Pressure
bit.
makes diamonds.
Are you guys okay with that? You
I
ready to run
don't
with
care.
Chase?
Look at Stick like, thank God.
Turn the camera on, man.
Okay,
Well, no,
well,
I got to find the sound guy. At
Oh,
that
they're
point.
talking for
but that's
Friday.
easier to replace.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're talking
Definitely.
for Friday.
Sound guys are a dime a dozen, KG.
Yeah, that's fine. I do everything around this bitch, though. Your sound guy don't do the desk and TD, so that's fine.
It's a privilege.
Yeah, okay.
Mike G wants to know, Chase, are you fast or are you loose?
JB's fast, I'm loose.
There you go.
Please say that again for the camera one more time.
JB's fast, I'm loose.
I love that.
I wouldn't
Fast
want to
and
be
loose.
either.
Yeah.
Stick, you are both of those.
I am neither.
You fast and loose.
I am tight.
Jim 3. Yes, Neil, but you don't know if you're getting a good HOA or a bad one. That's why I'm not in one. Well, no, you're not in one because it's not required to be a member of it where you live. That's why you're not in one.
Nitty gritty, where you're also a hall monitor in school. No, this got thrust upon me. Look,
That's how it was for me,
I
too.
didn't go seek this
Are
out.
you the president
The
of the
neighborhood
HOA?
called me.
Yeah, no, I'm a.
Are
I'm
you
a
to stick counters in
No,
your own
I'm not-
communities?
I'm not a president. I'm the communications
Magistrate?
director.
See, I'm the secretary.
Are you the,
Yeah.
So I
are you
take
the
notes.
magistrate of the castle? Like, how do they do? Do they have the same up on the castle?
on the hill, yeah.
Up on the hill, do they have the same verbiage as maybe?
I don't know.
Stick
I
down
can't
in
see
the-
down there. Yeah.
Okay.
D-Mac, yeah, real quick. I'll give you the story real quick on how I got there. So I went to the HOA meeting, just like due diligence as a resident, and the terms had ran out, and nobody wanted to be the communications director. Like nobody was doing it.
Yep.
And I got like frustrated. You'll love this. And I'm like, so nobody's going to do it. Then I'll do it. If everyone's going to sit here and not do anything and then complain about everything, then I'll do it. And guess what? When you complain, I don't care.
Yeah. When my buddy Jeff called, he was going to be VP. He's like, hey, we're doing this. We're taking the neighborhood back. I'm like, I'm in.
I didn't use that as my platform.
No.
I just said, you guys aren't going to do anything, then I'll do it.
But you're more of a solo artist where Stick's in a band,
Correct.
right? He's got a band of brothers.
Yep.
But
I
it
love
seems
posting
like
to our
there
Facebook
seems there's
page.
more resistance on Stick's end than at your end, right?
Correct.
Pretty much, you tell them the way it is, and
Yeah, and then we put the liens on the house and that.
Yeah, there it
I
is.
love sending a lien. I love it.
Of course you do.
I love it.
That's so on brand.
Oh, because there's nothing you can do.
That's so on brand. Can you imagine it?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the tone in that lien?
Do you have a problem with that,
regret to
KG?
inform-
You agreed to it
No,
when
yeah.
you signed the paperwork.
I don't
you
have a
agreed
problem
to
with
it.
it, but I won't be in the HOA because most of them are stuck up. So
Okay.
it's safe to assume that a HOA is stuck up.
Well, there you go, though. But I love it because you knew you had to pay this. You knew it.
Right.
Well, some people are like J-Mo. They don't read the fine print.
There's something I can tell you guys off the air because I don't want to blast him on the air, but a former football player is paying for his parents' house there, and he's years behind on his HOA.
Oh, shit.
He's saying he didn't even know.
Oh, stall him out, Stick.
I'll
Who is
tell-
I
it?
believe
I'll tell you
that.
what
Stall
it
him
is.
out.
Tell you- But he was doing a solid, getting his parents a house. He just forgot to pay the HOA for the last 10 years.
Okay, the chat's we're leaving this now. You know what direction the chat's going. I'm not interested. Click close. Thanks for watching, everybody.
What's going on? What is it say?
We'll be back tomorrow. Well,
Yep.
see you later.